Peace, die hard. Salute to everybody watching. As you can see on the screen, we're going to be talking about some bullshit today. Got my man Evergreen here. We're going to deep dive into how the Knicks could be the champions in 2021-2022 season. All right, so without further ado, let's go. There you go, Mr. Evergreen. What's going on, my man?
Peace and love, my guy. What's going on?
Chilling. Yeah, like I was saying before we came on here, I was in a shitty situation, man. My freaking son shit all over the freaking bathroom, trickling down the hallway into the living room. I mean, like, you know, that's what I got to go through every time I start these podcasts, man. I got to, it's like all this like drama in the crib before I can really close down the door and really get busy and stuff, man.
Aren't those the best, man? Those diaper blowouts, those, you know what I mean? You're on the way to the mall, there's a diaper blowout, you got to stop what you're doing. Yo, I'm crossing the George Washington Bridge. My son's like, he's staring in his iPad. He's like, Daddy, I got to pee. I'm coming from Jersey into New York. Daddy, I got to pee. Mm-hmm. And he had to pee in a bottle. This kid, my wife decides to stand him up. We're in my Camry, right? My wife decides to stand him up as I'm in gridlock traffic, right? He's peeing in the bottle, right? I didn't even hit a bump. I'm like driving super slow, and she shakes, and he pees on the back of my arm, bro. So I get it, like being a dad is like, it's so crazy because it's like, you know, it's like the job needs you, then like your wife needs you, then your son needs you, and then you need time for yourself. So like, at what point do you balance it all out to get to this podcast? So I salute you, bro. I salute you because I
got two kids, man, and my son is not a little kid. He's 7. You know what I'm saying? School's about to start. He's still got these shitty problems, man. Meanwhile, the other one, the baby, he's like 5 years old. He's in the room chilling. Like,
right.
Taking his head, no like problem. This motherfucker. every night with this guy, you know.
Right. It's always something new, bro. I get it.
Yeah. All right, man. So this is really your baby here. I was waiting to do this podcast with you. You know, you kept saying it in the comments. You're saying that the Knicks gonna win the championship. Knicks gonna win the championship. So you know, I feel the same way, man. I feel like anything can happen. So before we get into like the deep dive and stuff, like, you know, we just lost Michael K. Williams. You know what I'm saying? So life is random. Nobody thought that somebody like that would pass away for drugs or anything, whatever they said it is, you know. Nobody really knows what happens with that, but nobody would have known that somebody like that with that much energy would pass away. So It kind of shook a lot of the celebrities, people that know him and stuff like that, because he's a man with full of energy. You know, he's a dancer. You know, he shows everyone loves infinite energy, always helping out the community and this, that, and the other. So for this to happen, it's kind of a shock. So, you know, I say that to do a segue. It's like, why not? You know, why can't the Knicks win the championship this year? Because, you know, like, no, they can't do it. They're 5 or 6 years away. Or, you know, they got to do this. They got to do it. They need this pieces. They need to do it. Like, it's all bullshit, man. Like, we supposed to be having fucking fun, man.
Right. So, like, I had the same like epiphany, I want to say probably about a week ago, right? And I'm like, man, like what's really stopping these guys, especially in comparison to what happened last season, where there was only a select few, even within the podcast community, there was only like a select few that had this team over, you know, 30 games, you know, and it was just like, where do you go from here? You know what I mean? Where do you go as far as this energy is concerned? What needs to happen in order for the next step? And I just so happened to be watching Julius Randle's press conference, and he had laid claim to it a few times, like competing for a championship. And I'm like, yo, holy shit, like, the fact that he's talking about this means that there's at least somebody else within the organization that's talking to him about this, because last year he wasn't talking about making the championship. He was talking about, you know, trying to get to a position in the playoffs. Or actually, they were talking about playing game shit.
Yeah, they were talking about respect, just basic respect. Just everybody was ready to ship his ass out of here.
Right,
Of the season.
So in light of all the stuff that's been happening, you had an amazing episode, the other day. Rest in peace, MF Doom. Rest in peace, Fife Dog. Rest in peace to Michael Williams. All of that stuff. Like, what does it take outside of like the regular bullshit everyday sports rhetoric that the front offices will push to a team? What outside of that has to happen in order to galvanize and motivate this team to want to do something, to want to like truly compete, or to want to embody what basketball truly is and really say we are going to be that team that's going to compete at the highest level? It shouldn't be that there's a bunch of people that are, diehard Knicks fans that pass away for a team to say, all right, we got to do something for them. But at least if you look at those people that did pass away, it's like, wow, like there's people that truly love us unconditionally, right? There's people that are alive right now that love us unconditionally, right? We gotta compete and sacrifice our bodies for not only just for this money that we got, but two, because these people love this orange and blue shit. Like I purposely bought a 18 pack of do-rags, right? Because I couldn't find the orange one that I wanted, the orange color that I wanted. I bought an 18 pack of do-rags just so that I could get this orange one, so that when I'm doing podcasts, I can wear this orange do-rag, or when I'm wearing my jersey, I can wear this orange do-rag. You know what I mean? Like that type
Absolutely.
of commitment, that type of commitment has to come with some type of sacrifice from the organization that we're striving to bring home a championship. And I think that there's really, when you look at the makeup of the way this damn league looks right now, I don't think that's far from reach, bro. Like, I'm saying it now. Like, I prophesied a few things already within this Knicks community. Bro, we're winning the championship this year. And you started off, I kind of took a little offense because he's like, we're going to talk about some bullshit. But I'm like, bro, like, I really, really see it. We'll get into it a little bit later, but I really, really, really see. Granted, I haven't seen the Knicks ever win a championship because I was born in '87. You know what I mean? My birthday was up there. I was born in '87. So but when you look at the makeup of the league and like this weird thing that happens with championships, which we'll get into, like, bro, we're not far from it, bro. We're not far from it. Like, it's happening. And I will be the first to say it. I'll be the first to jump out on that dagger and be the guy to say, yo, we're winning the championship this year. But it's happening, bro. And you hold me to the fire. Anybody want to hold me to the fire? I'm cool with that. We winning the championship this year. This is the one time that you will ever see me being this like delusional Knicks fan.
But is it really delusional though? Because look at last year, right? With the whole Bucks thing. The Bucks were like an inch away from them not even getting to the finals. It would have been Brooklyn. If Durant hit that three, then we would be talking about the Brooklyn Nets possibly winning the championship and maybe the Bucks getting dismantled. Just one little inch of on the floor would change everything. So I mean, like, why can't that happen for the Knicks? It's happened for other teams throughout the history of things. So why can't it happen to us? And we'll break it down. As this podcast goes on.
So let's start, man. First off, I want to go through, like, again, the shit that I come up with that I'm thinking about. It's like, it's well thought out. It's not just like some like Evergreen's just here for freaking sensationalism bullshit. And like, yes, this episode particularly has a lot of emotion behind it, but I'm not here to sensationalize anything, right? So I want people to bear with me, right?
Yeah. Evergreen has an opinion.
Okay. Yeah, Evergreen has an opinion. So there's this weird thing that happens in the NBA, and it's usually like every 4 to 7 years that there's a team that wins a championship that was indeed a playoff contender, right? But nobody considered that particular team to be a contender to win a championship. Everybody's like, oh yeah, top 8, this team will be like teeter-tottering between like teeter-tottering between like 9 and 6 throughout the whole entire season, and then they'll make the playoffs, and then surprisingly one of those teams will win, or it'll be a team that just did so phenomenal throughout the beginning of the season, but the previous season they stunk, right? So it's those two things that seem to happen like on a regular basis, and I'm not so sure that Milwaukee season Evergreen has an opinion. I'm not so sure that the Milwaukee team from last season fits that bill, right? Because they've been good, right? They've been good easily for the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm not sure that's a team that fits either one of those bills, because they've been at the top of the Eastern Conference, standings for a while. So I wouldn't go so far as to say that Milwaukee is a team that nobody was looking at, or a team that stunk the season before and won a championship. They were right there, So what was the team before this current championship that won it all, that we were all like, that team wasn't supposed to win?
The first team that I could think of, I'm not sure. I feel like every single LeBron's team is like that, because like things always fall into place with his teams. Of course, everyone assumes they're gonna win, but then always something kooky happens throughout the year, where a little injury happens, or maybe like a losing streak nobody expected happens, and they just always end up in the freaking finals. So every year is always something kooky.
But with that being said, none of those teams were like horrible. Like, because LeBron was on those teams, like there was an expectation that their team would be good, the team would be at the top of the standings, and hell, after the third time, fourth time of him going, you're like, that team's going to the finals. You know what I mean? Not that they were going to win, but that team's going to the finals. What I'm talking about is there's teams that like nobody was ever thinking about ever. Nobody was thinking about, and all of a sudden, damn, they win. Like, I'll go back, right? I'll go back. So the Lakers or the Bucks this season, they don't really fit the bill, in my opinion, because they were a damn good team. They've been a damn good team for the last 4 years, right? The Lakers last season was a incredible, they put together that team, and you got LeBron on it and the bubble, whatever, right? The Toronto Raptors, we'll start there, right? Nobody was looking at the Toronto Raptors to win a championship. Nobody. Then once that Kawhi trade happened, everybody's like, holy shit.
But even that championship wouldn't have happened if Kawhi hit that 3-point shot in the corner.
Against Philly, right? But again, that's a team that fits the narrative, where you're like, yeah, Toronto was making the playoffs, but with them having Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan for years and getting bumped out by none other than who? LeBron James, you weren't expecting that team to win. So I will start my 5-year thing. Like I said, it's like a 5 to 7 year thing that seems to happen. But I'll start my 5-year thing. I'll start it with Toronto, just for shits and giggles, right? So you go back sometime. You got Golden State. Then you got Golden State again. Then you got Cleveland, and then you got Golden State again, right? So that in reality, that's 4, right? And I'm saying I'm putting Golden State there because nobody was looking at Golden State to win a championship in the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden they go on this huge, 73 win. What was it, like 73 wins they had that season?
Yeah.
So Golden State was like, holy shit. Nobody was looking at them. They became that dynasty that from that point on, right? Then you go back some more. So you go from Golden State, you go San Antonio, Miami, and the next team, the Dallas Mavericks. Nobody was looking at the Dallas Mavericks to be a championship team, right? Even after they acquired Jason Kidd and all those old farts. Nobody was expecting them. Nobody was expecting Jason Terry to be the guy, that's like hitting crazy shots in in the finals. Nobody was expecting that against Miami, right?
Yeah,
Everyone was
to be the Robin to the Batman.
Right.
Even the other guys too, Barea, all these different guys. Nobody thought that they would step up, to face a team like Miami, because everybody assumed Miami was going to steamroll over the whole NBA at that time.
Right. Right. So we can go back again. We can go back to 2010, 2009, back-to-back Lakers. Like they were that team was phenomenal. Even if you look at the Boston Celtics, someone could argue there like, oh, the Boston Celtics, but like they put together what most would kind of consider to be the first big three, and everybody had a spotlight on Boston. Like, holy shit, they got Kevin.
But before Boston though, they were about to dismantle that team too, because
They
it
were.
was just Paul Pierce, and then if they didn't make the trade for Ray Allen and KG, Paul Pierce probably would have been traded himself to another team.
So you can consider Boston, right? The only reason I'm not considering them is because as soon as they acquired those guys in the beginning of the season, the entire narrative of the NBA changed. Like the super team. That's when that came up. The super team. That's the first idea of the super team, right? We could agree with that. Yeah. Right. So I don't want to consider Boston, but we'll give them like an honorable mention in this. You go back a few years again. San Antonio, they were a damn good team. Miami, they assembled, Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal, right? They were a damn good team, right? Then you go back to San Antonio again, which they were still
that Miami team. Did anybody expect them to win a championship though? Because not for nothing, they had a ragtag group of guys. They had Gary Payton on his last legs. White Chocolate had bad feet. Shaq was traded for Lamar Odom and them guys. You know what I'm saying? Alonzo Mourning only had one kidney. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can go down the line. Even Anton Walker was almost out the league at the time, and he was the second fiddle to Dwayne Wade.
To Dwayne Wade, right? That sure was. So honorable mention there too. But I think the outlier there is like Shaquille O'Neal. Post like Lakers Renaissance, he's only 3 years out from that.
Yeah.
Right. So is he a bad guy? Can he still do it? That was the narrative that was played there. So
but that's very similar very similar to Boston. Because I mean the year before both teams were shit.
Right.
Miami was shit and Boston was shit. And in just 1 year they went from being bad to a championship team.
Right.
So that adds to the narrative too. The Knicks were bad 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden, 3 years ago, we in the championship.
Right, right. And then you go far-fetched. You go back before that, and I think this is where I would say this is where the start of the team was shitty the year before. They acquired some guys, and then they made a push and win a championship. That 03-04 Detroit Pistons team, like that's a legendary team. I would say the narrative, like for me as a basketball fan, that's where the narrative started for me, right? But then you go back again and you can say the 99 San Antonio Spurs, right? Mm-hmm. They had David Robinson and that was the year, that was a Tim Duncan year, right? But was anybody really looking at San Antonio to win a championship? I mean, this is post Jordan era. Right? Nobody was looking at the West to really be the conference to win a championship after like everyone was still looking at like your Indianas, hell, even the Knicks, right? We competed that season, right? Everyone was looking at the East to win a championship, right?
Yeah.
You go back before that, and then it's all dynasties from there, right?
Yeah.
Chicago, Houston, Chicago, Detroit, LA,
Lakers,
and
Celtics.
Boston, Philly, Boston. You know what I mean? It was but something happened in the year 1999, 2000 that changed the league, and it changed the league.
Yes, well, speak on that Spurs team, man. They had Avery Johnson as the starting point guard. Couldn't even go. He couldn't go left.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? He only had one hand.
One-handed bandit. I think that the one-handed bandit, right? So again. The narrative for me starts in 03, right?
Right.
And if you start to look and compare that 03-04 Detroit Piston team, how far off, other than the way that the game is played right now, how far off do the Knicks look from that storyline in comparison to Detroit? Right? They had your all-star player. right? They had your one defensive specialist. They had a bunch of shooters, right? Between Chauncey Billups and Richard Hamilton, who I want to say they got Richard Hamilton from the Wizards. I think they got him from the Wizards a couple seasons before, either the Wizards or Chicago. I remember him with.
I think it was on the Wizards because he was playing with Jordan for a while.
Yes. Okay, so it was the Wizards. They got him. They got a shooter, right? They ended up getting a defensive guy. They had Ben Wallace. Tayshaun Prince was another defensive guy, and it was just like defense all over the place. Best defense, top 5 defense in the league, right? Then you go down to Boston with none other than our boy Doc and Tom Thibodeau.
Well, to go back to Detroit. Detroit made a big trade too. They traded for Rasheed Wallace mid-season. Right. They traded first. He went to Atlanta. He played like one game, and then he got traded to Detroit, and then that's what started it. Because I think they had Stackhouse or whatever. They had like a ragtag group of guys. You would never think that they would have made it to the championship, but they made one trade and it solidified everything. And then they just went on a nice little run. So like we're trying to paint that picture here. It's just like anything can happen. It really just lightning in a bottle. The opportunity to whatever you got to be able to acquire some kind of talent, and then you got to be opportunistic to make that move to get that player to take you to the next level. So getting Rasheed Wallace that was just it just galvanized them. For that 1 year,
and that was huge. What the hell? No thanks, Ad. I don't want you. I'm trying to scroll up to this 03-04 season. Right. And some people have some pretty dope. Oh, they don't even do it that way. Okay. 03. After being swept by Miami in 2000, Joe Dumars, who had retired from 1999, was hired as a team president of basketball operations. So that's the one, right? They kept it in house, and I love that. They kept it in house. Would you
just like Leon Rose right there, right?
Right. They kept it in house, right? As Grant Hill was elected to leave the team for Orlando, which is a big name player. Grant Hill left, right? Who left in our atmosphere, right? Porzingis is gone, right? However, Dumars managed to work a sign and trade with Orlando and brought in the Pistons Ben Wallace, right? So what was the big sign and trade? Not sign and trade. Big sign and trade was Marcus Morris signing. Right? Which eventually got flipped. So this is kind of a rough comparison to do. Eventually it got flipped, right? But we could also say, hey, we signed Julius Randle, right? Brought the Pistons Ben Wallace and Chucky Axons in exchange for Hill, which in hindsight, I would go so far as to say that's a hell of a trade for the Pistons to get for Grant Hill, right? Like Grant Hill was on his last leg. He was hurting, and he elected to go.
This guy Ben Wallace wasn't Ben Wallace yet,
right?
He kind of was just like a journeyman because he was on the Bullets before they changed to Washington, right? And then he stayed there for 3 years. He didn't really have that great of a year. He was only like 6. I think his best year was 6-8. Before that was 3-4, 1-1. So he didn't become Ben Wallace yet. So once he got to Orlando, even then he was only averaging 4-8. So when he got to Detroit, making that sign and trade, hindsight, that first year in Detroit, he averaged 6-13. That's when he became Ben Wallace.
Right.
Yeah.
And even to stretch that narrative like a little bit further, right? The continuity aspect. Ben Wallace was playing with Richard Hamilton in when he was with the Wizards. They played together, so there was continuity there, right? So, boom. Hill played 47 games in the following season, which is incredible foresight for the Pistons to say, all right, this guy was our franchise guy, but we got to move him. And then all of a sudden, he goes to Orlando. He only plays 47 games. He's essentially a washed up bum at that point, which let's go across down to Dallas. The guy's a washed up bum now, right?
But talk about that too, then, because like when you sign these guys to these multi-year contracts and invest like massive part of your salary cap, I mean, who would have known that he would have had just like a basic ankle surgery that ends up getting gangrene, his ankle turns permanently black.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And you invested all this time and money. Look at Tracy McGrady. But Tracy McGrady is fighting for his life. They actually he actually imploded against this Detroit team, when he was in Orlando because he didn't
Right.
have no help.
Right.
He didn't have Grant Hill because Grant Hill was in the infirmary with a black, with Mr. Deed's foot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So
So
anything can happen.
my point in painting this narrative is that you like something happens, like the stars align for all of these different little small things to happen. And based off of last season, we would have liked to think that the stars aligned, but one thing was out of alignment. I say that one thing that's out of alignment was like the injury bug with Mitchell Robinson and the bad spacing and the inability for Reggie Bullock to create his own shot. That's what and because Mitchell Robinson's gone, Clinton Capella, whatever. We know the narrative. I'm saying that the narrative kind of like there's like so much turmoil in the narrative now that it builds for a crazy story of the team that won the championship after 20 some odd years, more than that, 50 years. The team wins the championship off of, look at this storyline and look how it came together. Like, if they was to piece this story of the New York Knicks winning the championship, like that story is better. Like this season, if they win, this story is better than what happened in, the 70s.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like all these little small narratives that happen that is just like, wow, look, overcoming adversity at its finest.
Well, we can get to the 70s too, man. But I wanted to make this point about let's say like the Lakers. When the Lakers were doing their championships, whatever, they actually played against the Nets. Before the Nets got Jason Kidd and they went on that little run, whatever, they had Stephon Marbury over there. But the reason why Stephon Marbury didn't actually do well in New Jersey is because Kenyon Martin's leg got broken. They had a whole bunch of weird ass injuries and stuff that happened over there. So
Right.
they made a trade, to get Jason Kidd. Kenyon Martin's leg gets fixed. Next thing you know, these guys are running and gunning like they're Magic Johnson in the 80s and stuff.
Right. Right.
So little things like that. It's because I mean, if Kenyon Martin was healthy and half the roster was healthy, maybe Marbury could have been that guy.
Maybe he could have.
Because at the time Marbury was like 23-8 at the time. The year that he was with the Nets, he was
Right.
crazy with the stats and stuff. So maybe he could have been the guy to galvanize them into that finals run and stuff. But like we're saying, things happen for a reason, and lightning in the bottle, and just the key thing happens, and next thing it just shoots, and great things happen.
Right. And it's like we kind of alluded to in the very beginning. It's not too far off to think that this type of thing can happen to us, and I look at the narrative and the makeup of this team, and I'm like, right now, if you start to compare the rest of the rosters in the league, at least on the Eastern Conference, like why at this very point right now aren't we as good as Milwaukee? They just lost their defensive enforcer. They just lost him. Like PJ Tucker's gone. And he was a big point to their defensive effort. He's gone now.
Right? He distracted Durant. He's the one that distracted Durant. Because Durant is always on point, always cool as a cucumber. You can't get him off his game, but he distracted him enough to make sure that they got his foot on that line. To mess up their season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just enough to frustrate him.
So let's go through it, right? I think the easiest way to kind of present this narrative to everyone is let's look at each team. Let's look at each team in their current rosters. Let me see where we at. Let's look at each team in their current roster. So I got the Knicks roster up, right? But I also want to pull up, where's that? All right, I also want to pull up every other team on the East roster, and let's see how our team compares to them, as of right now, right? So, and I think that's the easiest way to do it, just because it allows people to see in real time what we're actually working with, as opposed to, continuing to argue moot points without seeing anything to it, right? So I'm gonna pull up our roster, which is over here on the right, and let's go through the team that beat us last season, right? Obviously, the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll go to their 2021 season, and we'll look at their current roster as of right now, right? This is their current roster as of right now. And if we look at our projected players, which is going to be from the start, it's going to be obviously Mitchell Robinson. I'm pretty sure there's a way to highlight Mitchell Robinson. All right. Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. Where you at, Kemba? Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin, Nerlens Noel, Alec Burke. And is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who am I missing?
Walker. What? No, you
Kemba
got Walker.
Kemba Walker, Obi Toppin,
Quickly.
Manuel Quickly, right? That's our 10. That's the 10 that we got going into this season. So I want to come over here, because when you start to look at this Atlanta team, you realize that they got problems. They got forward problems. Lou Williams, is he going to be in the regular rotation this season?
16 years in the NBA, man.
Right?
That is crazy to me.
At 16 years, is he going to be in a regular rotation? I don't think so, but I know Gallinari is. I know Capella is. I know Horter is. We would assume that Sharif Cooper is Lou Williams' replacement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go Sharif Cooper. We're going to go Trae Young, obviously. We're going to go Okongwu. And then we're going to go John Collins. And DeAndre Hunter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you got a problem. Is Jalen Johnson going to get minutes?
They have too many forwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They have a lot of
because
forwards.
they had a problem getting Cam Reddish minutes. He didn't get minutes in the playoffs until DeAndre Hunter went down. So where do they fit? And if you hold up this team and compare it with the upgrades that we have, I don't see this team. I mean, I see stellar coaching, out coaching maybe, but when you line the team up, I don't see this team beating us. I don't see the Atlanta Hawks beating us. And I'm not saying that just trying to be like this super, sensationalized Knicks fan. I'm really looking at it from a very analytical standpoint. Like, I don't see this team beating us.
Yeah, it's no cap. You're not capping. This is I was just looking at the roster the way it is now. We did forget about Bogdan.
Bogdanovich. Oh,
yeah.
Well, he had the injury bug last season. So I mean, yes, he's going to get minutes too at the guard, right? Yeah. Absolutely. But that's going to be at the 2, which he's obviously going to get minutes over Kevin Huerter, right? But again, where do these guys sit, right? Rookie, 8 years. 16 years. Cam Reddish is the outlier that could do something. First year, I don't even remember this guy playing. Skylar Mavs? Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah, never heard of him a day.
Never heard of him. Deleon Wright, did he play last season? Six years from Utah?
No, he's decent though. Deleon Wright, he's not a bad player.
Okay, so again, I'm just looking at it from a real player standpoint, right?
Right. Where do these guys play though? I mean, because they might have talent or whatever, but you can't play a million guys at the guard. You got to have some kind of continuity and getting guys, assimilated to the system. Get chemistry going and stuff like that. So you can't play like 15 guys and expect to get chemistry.
And with that being said, they don't really have the continuity bug. They don't have the continuity issue, right? The continuity is there, right? Okongwu was there last season. Trae Young, obviously. Sharif Cooper's Nick, the new guy. Bogdanovich was there. Kevin Huerter was there. Gallinari was there. Capella was here. DeAndre Hunter was there. John Collins was there. So I'm not looking at that, right? I'm not looking at. They have the same exact issues that we have, but also remember that they got the injury bug and we swept them in the beginning of the season, right? So again, what we had the injury bug when it mattered most. If we're not injured, are we comparable teams? I don't see why we're not.
Yeah, absolutely. If
I don't
if
see why
anything,
we're
we
not.
we, we got to be better than them. If anything, because I mean, most of the guys that had the heavy minutes and the heavy responsibility, all those guys are going to be on the bench now. Because we're going to be relying more on Walker and Fournier. To me, Fournier a little bit more than Walker, because Walker we could rely on roles to come off the bench and do his thing. But I think a guy like Fournier, between him and RJ, they're definitely going to be mixed matching minutes. Definitely off and on the court between the two of those guys. So they're going to play a lot of minutes this year, I think.
Right. So I'm gonna leave the big dogs for the end, right? Because that's where everyone's gonna be like Evergreen's crazy, right? Which I get it. I'm cool with that. Boston Celtics. Let's go with Boston, right? So we're gonna go to the 2021 season.
But there really is no big dog, though. To tell you the truth, there really is no big dog. Everybody's kind of comparable to each other.
Right, and that's why I don't want the people, I don't want the chat to look at it like Evergreen's losing his mind, right? Yeah. So I'm considering the big dogs just for the face of the conversation from last season.
Yeah, just for the narrative, the way that everybody puts people on pedestals unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So when you look at this team, which is in shambles, if you ask me, Jason Tatum, obviously he's gonna go. Gets confusing here. Yeah, Dennis Schroeder's gonna go.
They just pay Robert Williams for what? You know what I'm saying? A 6'8" center, 237 pounds. What are they doing right now?
I don't know. Right. So who else? Where is I'm missing somebody? Chris Dunn, Jabari Parker, no. Al Horford, he's gonna play because he's still got the bag.
I forgot about Al Horford.
Al Horford, yeah, he just got the bag. He got the bag from well, he had a nice little chunk of change with Boston. They got rid of him. He got picked up by Philly. Philly gave him a bag and got stuck with the Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Al Horford contracts, and they were like doomed there for basketball purgatory, right? So again, I don't really look at this team, and I don't really see much of them. Peyton Pritchard, he's a nice piece, especially from last season. But is Peyton Pritchard going to be starting over Dennis Schroeder? Probably not, right? Dennis Schroeder's a champion.
He might be in the rotation, though. But Enes Kanter too. He's a guy that's going to be in the rotation, but he don't play defense. He rebounds and he can score, but when the game is on the line, you kind of don't want him, a guy like Kanter in there because he's going to get abused defensively.
Right. So in reality, like Jabari Parker, he's injury prone. Right.
You can't rely on him.
And so this is their team right here, really.
Well, I mean, look at Chris Dunn. They got Chris Dunn. They got Josh Richardson also. Like, how do they got too many guys on this team that they got to put together to make it work? Where does Josh Richardson fit on this roster? Is he the starting two? Because I mean, you got Marcus Smart there also.
Well, who starting two behind who?
That's what I'm saying. Marcus Smart was their starting two last year.
Right, and where's he gonna play? Let's look at it. I just want to see his height real quick.
It's like 6'5".
6'5". Yeah, he's not a starting two. He's not a starting two. Hell no. Well, no, not over Marcus Smart. Not over Marcus Smart. I don't think so.
Yeah, definitely not over Marcus Smart. But I'm saying, like, just from the talent wise, where do you play a guy like him? He's gonna come off the bench behind Marcus Smart.
And then also considering Jaylen Brown is injured right now.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown's injured right now. So
what's the extent of his injury?
did I have the injury report? Let me pull that up real quick. Jaylen Brown. The Celtics announced that Brown had surgery on his left wrist, and the hope is that he's ready by training camp.
Oh God.
Whatever.
The hope is that he'll be ready. Oh my God.
The hope. Right? So I mean Jaylen Brown's hurt. Yeah. Right. So this is that team. This is their
shout out to Chris Dunn too. Chris Dunn was point guard in Chicago. So they brought him in here. I don't know to do what, to be the backup point guard to Schroeder. But like you said, they got Pritchard too. So how do they work that in? How does that work? Guys like Naismith too. Naismith is a guy that could come off the bench for them.
But what did Naismith do? What did Naismith do last season?
Yeah.
Right. Are they developing him to be the off bench guy for Jaylen Brown? Is he starting at the forward position?
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here, right? Would you start Aaron Naismith over Chris Dunn or Carson Edwards? Right? That's
Well,
another guy they got.
look at their starting lineup. They well right now they're not gonna have they're gonna be without this guy Jalen Brown, right? So who's in their starting lineup? Because I mean they
So
want to run this guy Tatum as a power forward. He's not really a power forward,
so this is what I would project their starting lineup to be. Jason Tatum
on day one.
On day one. This is their starting lineup. Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams, Al Horford. That's the best. That's the best that they can put on the floor.
Oh my God.
Are they competing with Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, who obviously they just lost, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson? Is that team competing?
Unless Jason gets 50, you're gonna have to get 50 on us to beat us. You're gonna have to play his best game.
He's gonna have to play his best game on opening night.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys have not got your tickets to the opening night with the MBK family, there's 8 tickets left. Make sure you get those. I will be there. Ebro, you're gonna be there too, right?
Absolutely.
We're heavy. We're gonna be there. Legion's gonna be there. Obviously Sim. I think Steph's gonna be there. Tony Crow's gonna be there. Julito's gonna be there. Like it's a star-studded event. Y'all come kick it with us. Continuing on, right? So Boston, I really don't see them past us. Like we should be able to do some pretty good damage on opening night, right? So let's go past Boston. What would you say is the next Eastern team to deal with? I'm thinking Chicago, maybe.
Yeah, go do Chicago.
Let's go Chicago.
Because Philly is supposed to be number 2, but look at Philly. I guess we'll get to that.
We'll get to them because I would consider them that big 4 team, right? I would consider them that 4 guys to deal with. So Chicago's team. Here's where things start to get a little bit dicey, right? Things get a little bit better, right? Again, keep in mind, guys, there's zero continuity here. They definitely show that there was zero continuity last season when they got the Nurkic trade. Right.
Yeah, and then when they added basically a whole different starting lineup now.
So we'll go Vucevic, obviously starting at center, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, which he probably should be playing at 3, Lonzo Ball, Kobe White is going to get minutes.
Patrick Williams, I think is supposed to start.
Patrick Williams, he can get minutes. He'll probably get minutes. Derek Jones Jr. might get minutes. I mean, I know he came from he was a Miami boy, right? That's a new guy, but he might get minutes. And Alex Caruso is a champion. He'll get minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who's left?
All those guys were on a different team last year, except Patrick Williams.
I'm telling you.
I mean, Zach LaVine, of course, and Nikola Vucevic, he was only there for half a season. But I mean, where's the continuity with this roster?
That it's in shambles. It's in shambles. So this is a team that's like Bon Jovi living on a prayer. Like, can we develop? This is the team. This is the team.
Yeah.
And the next team, which is the team that I believe. Actually, let me go back there. Let's revisit that. Right. So we go.
I like the Bon Jovi reference though. I'm like tickled by that.
Hey, listen, I'm trying here. This is Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, Patrick Williams, Vucevic,
DeRozan,
and DeMar DeRozan. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so they got forward, who's gonna come off the bench for. He should probably be coming off the bench for DeMar DeRozan.
Well, he's probably gonna start at power forward though.
DeMar DeRozan?
No, Patrick Williams. He's probably going to start at power forward.
Patrick
Williams. Yeah,
6'7", 215.
That's that guy. I don't remember. They kind of reached to get him. They reached they picked him a little earlier than most people thought he was going to go. So he's that guy. They think he's going to be like a special player.
Okay, so that guy is starting at power forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
and that guy is supposed to compete against at 215 pounds. He's supposed to guard Julius Randle. That's what we're going with, right?
Yeah,
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this guy needs to be coming off the bench for DeRozan. But that's neither here nor there.
But
right?
you want DeRozan to be the power forward though?
No. I'm putting DeRozan at the 3.
Well, who's the power forward if it's not Patrick Williams?
Good question. Next question. Tony Bradley, maybe?
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
4 years. I don't even know who Tony Bradley. I don't remember seeing Tony Bradley. Like, who's that guy?
Sound like somebody who did my what's his name, taxes last year.
He did your taxes last year. Yeah. He works at the Walmart right there. You know, they got that extra H&R Block spot right there. So they don't have any continuity and everyone's losing their mind. They're not deep. You don't know who any of these guys are. Chicago is just, they're not cutting it. I love UNLV. You know what I mean? Derrick Jones Jr., UNLV is my college team, over there on the west side. I lived in Las Vegas, but that's all you got for me. And in Florida State, I lived in Central Florida for some time. Okay, who cares? What do you guys got going on in Chicago?
Look what Greenhouse is saying about this guy Patrick Williams. He's the same size as RJ. If RJ might even be bigger at this point, because they're talking about that he's 6'8" and he might be like 220 something, according to what people are saying.
RJ 6 as of right now, he's 6'6", 214, same size as Patrick Williams, and this is the guy that's allegedly supposed to be coming in at power forward. Or what are they doing at power forward?
I don't know.
Right. So I don't see it either. So moving on. Chicago's washed, and nobody can convince me otherwise. They need a bunch, right? Then we start going to where things get a little bit better, and we'll move to Charlotte, right? And I like this team. They fit real nice.
Yeah, I can't front. It's just exciting to see the athletes on this team, the way that goes on. As you start clicking away. Starts right there. LaMelo Ball leading the ship right there. Passing it to Miles Bridges. PJ Washington is also a decent. He's their starting power forward, I think.
Terry Rozier, Ishmael. Damn, he's been in 11 years. Jesus Christ. Mason Plumlee will probably get that. Kelly Oubre. Oh, I wanted that guy. Yeah. James Bouknight, right? He's probably going to get Kai Jones. Like, they got a young running squad. Gordon Hayward's going to play. I'm looking
Shout out to Jalen McDaniel. They got a lot of young guys on their team.
They got young runners.
Even this guy Vernon Carney Jr. He's a decent center prospect.
Okay, so where would you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we'll go 10, right? So we got starting point guard. LaMelo starting point guard. James Bouknight is probably going to start at the 2, right? Now, they got a problem here. Kelly Oubre and Miles Bridges. Now, either is Bouknight going to come off the bench and Bridges going to play the 2, which is going to leave Kelly Oubre to play the 3, and then Kai Jones or Gordon Hayward at the 4, and then where do you go at the center? Do you go Vernon Carey or do you go Kai Jones at the 5? What do you do? Or you do the vet Mason Plumlee at the 5 starting, right? So they have.
Are they missing a player though? Isn't it? Don't they have like another center? Scroll down. Is that the whole roster?
Yeah, that's them. No current injuries to report. That's them.
Okay.
That's them. So they're centers, just for shits and gigs, so we can see what they're doing.
It's just basically Mason Plumlee and Vernon Carney Jr.
Right, and this is good, right? I like this for their 3 centers, but are those 3 centers comparable to Mitchell Robinson, Alec Burke? Right, I don't know why they got center here up here for Julius Randle. That's hogwash, right? And then where's our guy Jericho Sims, right? We have yet to see what Jericho Sims can really do, but there's promise there. At 6'10", is he bigger and stronger than Carey? Vernon Carey? Right? We don't know. This guy's fat, if you ask me. 270, 6'9", 270. That's a big fat boy, if you ask me. Right? In comparison to 6'10", 245.
Well,
right?
Vernon Carey is very similar to Jericho Sims as far as style of play, but
Okay.
245 is definitely different than 270.
That's a huge difference. That's 2 minutes on the floor and compared to 8 on the floor at a time. You know, again, we're not saying that Jericho Sims is going to be getting a whole gang of minutes, right? But they have an issue here, right?
Yeah.
Is Vernon Carey going to be running over Kai Jones at 270 pounds in comparison to Kai Jones at center at 218? All right, that's a problem at the big man. That's a problem,
Yeah.
right? Now, is Mason Plumlee better than Mitchell Robinson? Hell no.
Nah.
Hell no. Right? So that solves the center argument, which is really the big thing. After that, their depth is all questionable because their depth comes here and it comes.
Who's gonna start at their forwards though? Because you're talking about Kelly Oubre, you got Gordon Hayward. They both basically play the same position, unless you want Gordon to play power forward. You know what I'm saying? And then they paid my man what's the guy Kelly Oubre as well. You know, so what does he play? Is he going to be there starting? Well, Kelly Oubre is a small forward. So I mean,
he's
what
a
do they
small
do?
forward. So
Yeah.
Gordon is Gordon Hayward. It says forward guard. Is Gordon Hayward playing the 2? Are you going to start Gordon Hayward over Miles Bridges?
I don't know. I don't know if you want that. Yeah, I don't know if you want that with a guy like LaMelo Ball. You kind of want Bouknight to take it right out because you want to run.
Right. So again, they're not as Charlotte, while they look deep based off of, you know, the flash that happened last year of LaMelo Ball, they're not that deep right now. Like just acquiring Kelly Oubre and James Bouknight alone is like, what are you guys doing? Yes, obviously you went best talent available, but you guys locked yourself up right here. Look at this. This is crazy to see. This is crazy to see, bro. That's crazy.
That looks like the Knicks that 1 year when they said all we did was sign power forwards that year.
Look at it. That's crazy. So they're not as deep as we think, right? Terry Rozier, let's go point guards. Terry Rozier can play a point guard, right? But he's not really. He's a guard that he's an attacking, scoring guard, right? Ish Smith is a shooter, right?
Well, he can't really shoot. He's just like he's basically like Alfred Payton.
Okay, no, I take that. Wait, let me see something. Maybe I'm mistaken here.
That's what Clyde always says. 30, Clyde, that's like Clyde's favorite player, but he just can't shoot.
30%. You're right. Ish Smith's not the shooter. I'm thinking somebody else. All right, so Ish Smith, Terry Rozier. Oh, Ish Smith is really quick. That's what I remember about him.
That's Clyde's favorite player. Clyde's always raving about Ish Smith.
Never heard of Scotty Lewis. What pick was he? I mean, don't even matter. Never heard of him. Right? Yeah. Oh, TWO. Oh, he's a 2-way contract. That's why. Right?
Yeah, he'll be in the G League. We'll probably never see him.
These 4 are your point guards and shooting guards. That's your depth right there. So are any of these 4 better than Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose,
Quickly,
and RJ?
Even adding Alec Burke to the mix and Fournier.
Right.
All those ball handlers.
The only argument that can be made at some point in time is LaMelo Ball, maybe on a health and youth level, might be comparable to, you know, the our 2 big point guards. Might be, but there's still not enough depth there.
Yo, LaMelo Ball is going to be the engine. I think he's a generational guy. I think next year he's really going to show off. I think.
Sure.
You know, I think he's going to show off.
But when he comes off the bench, those are your 2.
Yeah, Rozier more than likely is going to start. I think. Then again, I don't know, because I mean they already got rid of one of their point guards. I keep forgetting the kid's name, but they got rid of him. They got rid of the other guy. They went to the Lakers. The one from Kentucky. You know, they basically got rid of those guys and replaced them with them. You know, right. With Terry Rozier and Ish Smith. So they got the same problems they had last year.
Oh, and then you know, Mel said it. They haven't been to the playoffs. They still improving. They haven't been to the playoffs yet. So again, the depth for me with Charlotte, I don't believe you. You need more seasons.
And also the thing about that, people automatically, a lot of people are saying that Charlotte's better than us straight off the bat, just because.
Crazy.
That PTSD bullshit.
Crazy talk. Crazy talk. So what would be the next team, right? We ran through, let's see. We got through Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago. I feel like there's one more team in the East.
What, Indiana?
Indiana. Let's go to Indiana. Right? Again, people, I'm just trying to paint the picture, right? Jeremy Lamb's getting minutes. TJ Warren, let's go to the injury report. Oh, would you look at that? TJ Warren underwent foot surgery. Here we go. Underwent foot surgery and will miss the rest of the season. Right?
When did he have the foot surgery?
Let's see.
March
25. March 25th.
Yeah, so he probably won't be ready for the
rest of the season. We don't know if he'll be ready. Right? That's foot surgery. That's a big deal, right? Huge deal, right? So let's go back. So TJ Warren's out, right? Who do they have? Karis LeVert will get minutes.
Yeah, he's nice.
Isaiah Jackson is their draft pick. Malcolm Brogdon will get minutes. TJ McConnell looks nice.
He's a good point guard.
Miles Turner will obviously get minutes, but there's some iffy there because they're trying to move him, right? Justin Holiday may get minutes. Chris Duarte, draft pick, will he get minutes? I don't know. Domantas Sabonis will get minutes. And
I think you got to click Chris Duarte. Duarte, he has to play. He's old and whatever, and they don't. As you're looking at it, outside of Jeremy Lamb, they didn't really have a lot of backup swingmen really like that. Especially when Warren being sick, being hurt or whatever.
And here we go. Look, 1 rookie, 2 rookie, 3 rookie, 4 rookie, 5 rookies. What? Where's the depth, guys? Again, Bon Jovi, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 9-man rotation. You get TJ Warren back maybe by the All-Star break. You got you a 10-man comparable rotation. Or living on a prayer in hopes that one of these rookies pops out of nowhere. Is it Duarte? Is it Isaiah Jackson? I don't know. Right? Again.
Well, since you mentioned Bon Jovi, do they hold on to what they got, or do they make a trade?
Well, they make that trade, and that trade is going to be, if they make a trade, hell, it might even be Karis LeVert. That might be a package to get something nice. That might be a package. But again, I don't want to get into the trade talk because I'm just talking about the way the team is constructed now, right? We don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, right? But that might be a nice package. But again, this team, Indiana, like, yes, Julius Randle beat the brakes off of Domantas Sabonis.
Yo, he got an X on DeMarcus. On Sabonis's back. He said that there's certain players that he circles that he wants to prove a point that he's better than. Sabonis is definitely that guy.
Right.
I feel like Julius had his best games against Sabonis, like competition wise. Yeah.
So again, I don't even think there's a need to spend that much time on Indiana. Like, Indiana's not ready now. My sleeper team. Right. And a lot of other people agree with me. My sleeper team is indeed, where you at? The Washington Wizards. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you with that one.
Wow. Like, what they did. This is crazy what they did. Montrezl Harrell, Bradley Beal, like.
Yeah, nobody's really talking about it, man. Keep
I don't
cooking.
know why. Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Aaron Holiday is good too.
Let's go down the line first. Mm-hmm. Right? Kyle Kuzma, Cassius Winston, Spencer Dinwiddie, Davis Bertans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right?
Well, click Avija there. Denny.
Well, nope. Not clicking him.
Oh, he's hurt too?
Denny Avija, as of April 23rd.
Hairline fracture. Holy shit.
Wizards Avija out right fibular hairline fracture and is expected to make a full recovery within 12 weeks. That's a fracture.
Yeah,
nonetheless.
Fibia is another good, man.
That's no good, right? That's no good. But whatever. You want to throw them in there for shits and giggles? I'll throw them in there, right?
Yeah.
So that's your depth chart right there.
Well,
They
Thomas
draft
Bryant too. Thomas Bryant's they started as center.
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll take out Cassius Winston because he's on a 2-way contract.
Yep.
Right? So that's their depth chart. This looks like a nice team, a nice sleeper team. Now, is this nice sleeper team without continuity? Because they just got Montrezl Harrell, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, and Kyle Kuzma, and all three of those guys should probably be starting at some point.
Spencer Dinwiddie also.
Spencer Dinwiddie is a brand new guy who will start at the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that team without that continuity? Like, is that team also Bon Jovi?
I don't know. They're kind of like paper champions, man. Spencer Dinwiddie is a decent point guard. Next to Beal, that looks good, really good.
That looks really good. I'm not. So now, Spencer Dinwiddie and Bradley Beal. Is that better? This is where it starts getting debatable. That's why I said it's dicey. Is that better than Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier or Kemba Walker and RJ Barrett?
Well, they could compete against each other. I don't know about Beal's 30 points a game. I don't think he'll do that again next year. I think that was like a fluke because there was nobody else to pass to. So he kind of was chucking.
Right.
So I can't see him getting 30 points a game again because, I mean, his game is not like so dynamic that he's guaranteed to get 30 points a game every year. You know what I'm saying? So I think that point level will go down. So I'm saying that just to say that Fournier is very close to Beal. Of course, Beal is better, but he's close. Walker and Spencer Dinwiddie, I guess you can compare them as almost a wash. Maybe Walker's better.
They cancel each other out.
Yeah, they cancel each other out.
But as you start getting deeper down that depth chart and that starting lineup, right? Assuming you put Evan Fournier at the starting 3, is Kyle Kuzma better than Evan Fournier? He hasn't shown it.
Well, he did average 18 points a game one year with the Lakers, so he's gonna be looking to do that again. He's gonna be looking to do it again.
But is he gonna when he averaged 18 points a game, who was on that team? Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle, right?
Yeah,
who was really on that team? Right. Yeah. And that was post Kobe Bryant. He did that after Kobe Bryant retired.
Right.
Right. So who was on that team? The ball was going through him. Oh, yeah, they had Brandon Ingram too. The ball was going through Kyle Kuzma. Well, actually, it was a second year. Because that year they drafted Ball, and then did they draft Ball and Randall that year, or was Randall the year after?
Well, Randall got hurt too. He had broke his leg, and
he got hurt that first game.
Yeah.
Oh no, they drafted Randall first because Randall was playing with Kobe. Then the second season, Randall played with Kobe again, and then the third season they drafted Ball and Kuzma.
Right.
And then the following season they drafted Brandon Ingram, and then that next season they moved all of them for the AD trade. Okay, so nonetheless, is Kyle Kuzma better than RJ Barrett or Evan Fournier?
So all comparable, kind of.
It's close, right? Now is where it gets dicey. Is Montrezl Harrell better than Juju Bean?
Well, who's your starter though? You're talking about starting power forward because it could be Roy Hachimura too. You're
not gonna start Rui Hachimura over Montrezl Harrell, are you? Are you gonna put Montrezl Harrell in the second unit? Is he gonna do that?
Well, Montrezl Harrell lost a lot of money because he can't play defense. He gets exposed defensively.
Right. I'm saying, but he's still a good offensive threat, right? Yeah. But are you gonna? But Rui Hachimura is not that great on defense either.
But they like him though. That's their guy over there in Washington.
Okay, so either one of these guys, I'm fine. We'll bring them both up. Is anybody on their depth chart? All right, let's bring both. Let's bring both. Where you at, Obi? Bam. Julius Randle and Obi Toppin over Montrezl Harrell and Rui Hachimura. Who makes it out better in that lineup?
Well, I like Julius Randle better than both of those two players, but you add Obi to it. I'm not really sold on OBS, so they really got to be like a show and prove kind of thing.
Okay, so that's where we're at with Obi. Show and prove. I'm cool with that.
Well, look at this guy too. What's that? Bertans. What position does Bertans play? He's not really a small forward. He's kind of like a tweener kind of guy.
He's definitely a tweener. He's
So
definitely a tweener.
that's where the strength lies in their team. Their forwards. They have some decent forwards on their team.
So Mr. Jackson 531, he says that Harold is a six man. Okay, cool. If Harold's the six man, that means you got Rui Hachimura starting against Julius Randle. That's barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
So this might be, as far as competition and depth, this is as close as it gets, but they're just as confused without the continuity as well.
Who's their coach? The Washington Wizards.
Didn't they just get that guy? Who is their damn coach?
They don't have it up top at the very top of the thing. Check the previous season.
Hold on, I gotta go back. Previous season. Oh no, Scott Brooks is gone, right?
Scott Brooks is gone.
So who took over for him?
Yeah, we're gonna do a side Google.
We gotta figure that out. But again, we there's no need to dwell on them that much. I just don't see them. They're definitely a sleeper team.
Oh, they got Wes Unseld Jr. is their coach.
Yeah, who's that guy?
I mean, so there you go. You know what I'm saying? They're in trouble because I mean, Wes Unseld, he has a lot of respect around the league. He is a good coach, but he kind of have his work cut out for him with a whole new roster. Everybody trying to figure it out. He's gonna have to figure out who his guys are, who his starters are, who his rotation is.
Right.
So he's gonna be fighting an uphill battle all year trying to get that together, especially early on.
Right. So let's go. Do we need to bring in Toronto?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, look at Toronto.
Okay, before we bring in Toronto, I have one easy way to omit Toronto right away. You ready for this? Who's that guy?
Oh, Pascal Siakam.
Yep.
June
The
11th.
Raptors announced Pascal Siakam underwent surgery to repair a torn labrum, and his recovery is expected to last 5 months. So can we just get rid of Toronto now? It makes no sense to look at them.
They're gonna have to play a lot of the rookies or whatever. Well,
they got to
take a look at their roster.
Okay.
I want to see what it looks like.
We'll go down. No big deal. How did I get to Atlanta? I didn't mean to do that.
How does anybody get to Atlanta, man?
Oh, that's why. Okay, here we go. All right, Toronto. All right, 2021 season coming up. Fred VanVleet.
Flynn is good.
Malachi Flynn. Yep.
Yeah.
Malachi Flynn is good. Precious Achiuwa is good. Wait, Goran Dragic?
Yeah, that was in the trade for Lowry.
Pascal Siakam. OG Anunoby. And
Chris Brochure is pretty good. I don't know if he's going to start, though.
Chris Brochure? Okay.
Yeah.
Am I making my point with this, guys?
Yeah, pretty much. That's like a bunch of ragtag. That's a ragtag group right there.
There's no need to bring these guys up. They don't even have a prayer. They've never heard. They never noticed the Bon Jovi rock era of the 80s. You know what I mean? They don't know nothing about that. They don't know a damn thing about that, right? So let's go. So now, do I need to bring in Orlando?
If you
gassed, that's fine. We'll bring him in. Robin Lopez, he'll get minutes. Michael Carter Williams will get minutes. All right. Mo Bamba will get minutes. So there's your centers locked up.
You skip Gary Harris. He was a starting shooting guard for Denver.
Gary Harris? Okay, sure.
The great one, Ignas Barzikas.
I skipped right over him. Terrence Ross.
Markelle Fultz.
Cole Anthony. And oh, look at that. Markel Fultz out with knee. Missed the rest of the season with a torn ACL. His
Oh,
left
he's
knee,
done.
according to Adrian Wojnarowski. That was January 6th, though. So, mate, will he be ready by the season? I don't know. Jalen Suggs. But this team is shorthanded. It seems like they only got 10 players on the team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, Chuma's pretty good too. He'll probably be their starting power forward. Chuma.
Jonathan Isaac. You said Chuma?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's RJ. Like this team looks weird. This team
It's
looks
like a
really
lottery
weird.
team.
Yeah, this team looks weird. Right? Does Michael Carter Williams at 8 years get minutes over RJ Hampton? Right?
Yeah.
And then does Mo Bamba at 3 years get minutes over Wendell Carter Jr. at 3 years? Or does Robin Lopez, who's the vet at 13, that's the guy you're going to have as like the leading vet on the team, the leader, the guy to galvanize people and say, calm down, guys, we can do this. That's the guy.
He's the guy that needs calming down most of the time, Robin Lopez.
That's the guy, right? So what I'm disgusted. I'm not even going to look at that team anymore.
They have a lot of guys that play the same position too on that team.
Right. Okay, so where we left off at. I think we start moving into the big dogs, right? The big dogs, i.e. your New Jersey Nets, we forgot about Cleveland, right?
Cleveland is a sleeper.
Cleveland's a sleeper? Okay, let's review them. Let's go into Cleveland. You seem to think so, right? All right. Evan Mobley, he's good. He's a good piece. Kevin Love, Jared Allen.
Isaac Okoro, Torian Prince,
Lauri Markkanen. Oh wow, Lauri Markkanen. Okay.
Cedi Osman's pretty good.
Cedi Osman, Colin Sexton, who they're looking to move, Darius Garland. Doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, they're a sneaky team.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're missing another guard, unless Isaac Okoro is going to be your 2.
You know, there's an outside chance that they might be able to trade for Ben Simmons. These guys, that's what they've been talking about.
Colin Sexton, but they got to make the money match. The only way you make the money match is if you throw Kevin Love in that deal, and they're not going to throw Kevin Love in that deal with Andre Drummond over there and Joel Embiid over there and Tobias Harris over there like that. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. Like
they might.
They're stuck. They're gonna have to eat the rest of that Kevin Love contract, right?
Well, what if they trade Kevin Love and Sexton and send them to Philly?
Yeah, I'm saying, but why? What interest does Philly have in that? They got Andre Drummond as a big man.
Why did Andre Drummond go there?
Because he's a dummy. He should have came to us. But
he's a freaking idiot. Yeah,
he's a dummy. So, but I don't see it for that. They can't make the money match up. Darius Garland is not making nowhere near 35.
But Kevin Love is though, man. So I mean,
Kevin Love
can go to Philly and be their starting power forward
over Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris, you slide him to the 3. Because Tobias should actually be a 3. He's kind of playing out of position.
You think so? Okay, that's fair enough. But
and then they got Colin Sexton playing the point guard. With whoever shooters they got over there.
So you say Colin Sexton at the 1, and then you also say Matisse Thybulle at the 2. Oh no! They got what's his name? Seth Curry, don't they? Or Seth Curry's in Dallas. Or do they have Seth?
No.
Where's Seth Curry at?
They got Seth Curry, Philadelphia.
Okay, so Seth Curry at the 2, Tobias Harris at the 3.
They got the other guy. I forgot his name. It starts with an S. Shaky, something like that.
Shake Milton.
Yeah, Shake Milton. Yep.
Shake Milton. Okay. I mean, I don't see the money matching up.
Well, look at this roster though. If they get rid of Kevin Love and Sexton and bring in Ben Simmons over, how does that roster look now with Ben Simmons?
Okay, so let's get Kevin Love and Sexton out. So now you have Darius Garland. Is Darius Garland playing? What position is Ben Simmons playing? Is he playing a one?
He's gonna have to play one of the forward positions at that point.
Okay, so Darius Garland at the one. Um, who's at the two? Who's gonna start at the two? Damian
Uh,
Dotson?
no, that would have to be Isaac Okoro probably.
Isaac Okoro at the two. Ben Simmons at the three.
Right.
Then the four.
You got Lauri Markkanen,
Lauri Markkanen at the four. And
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen at the five.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good on paper.
On paper, it looks pretty good, man.
But living on a prayer still.
Yeah.
Right. So again, I'm just trying to paint the picture. This is a long-winded route to get to all this. But my point is, at least from those guys, that's easy. To Detroit, on Detroit, a lot of people saying this is a sleeper team too. I don't really see it, but for shits and giggles, right?
I don't know about sleeper team, but they're gonna be a fun team to watch because they got a lot of nice youth over there. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Sadiq Bey. Well, I'll start from the bottom up. Hamidou Diallo. I like this guy.
Yeah.
Queens boy. I wanted him on this team. All right. Let's see. Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Kelly Olynyk, DeAndre Jordan's dumbass just got over there. Idiot. Killian Hayes, who's probably not going to get any minutes. All right.
You gotta click him though. He's slated to be like their starting point guard. Killian Hayes.
Over Cade Cunningham?
They're probably gonna be together. I think Cade might end up being like a I don't know, a forward or whatever. Sadiq Bey's there also. So I mean that's something they're gonna have to figure out. Josh Jackson, you just clicked just now.
Yeah, this is to me, this is their depth right there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, nope, and Isaiah Stewart.
Absolutely.
Because he played Isaiah Stewart. That's their depth.
Yeah.
Fun to watch, but again, they don't compare to the Knicks. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I'm just being real. Like their depth chart doesn't compare. I will go.
Do you think they're a bubble team? Now looking at it, they look like they might be a bubble team.
No. Their additions from where they were last year, their additions, this is what they got that they added. Again, no. Hamidou Diallo didn't play for them last season.
He played a little bit. It was like a mid-season thing, I believe.
Okay, so we'll leave Hamidou Diallo. What I mean, again, continuity, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. DeAndre Jordan's new. He's probably gonna get some off the bench minute. Well, he'll start over Kelly Olynyk if you ask me, but he'll start. Will he start over Isaiah Stewart? Probably. So DeAndre Jordan's your starting center, right? Back wearing a blue and red jersey. Sure. Will we get to see the old DeAndre Jordan? Absolutely not. We won't because he sucks. Right?
Was he actually ever good, DeAndre Jordan?
I think his third year with the Clippers, he was good.
He was just basically a rim runner, just a guy waiting to get a lob.
Yeah, he was your premier rim runner. He was like the rim runner you needed, the guy you needed to look like he was probably like one of the top 5 rim runners in a game when like his third year with the Clippers, I would say.
Right.
But that's not really saying much because the game was, in the process of changing anyway, right? So again, Sadiq Bey is your best between Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant. Those are your, arguably right now, your 2 best players, right? And they're both forwards, right?
They all play the same position. All these guys play the same position.
So I'm no need to even look at, in my opinion, no need to look at Detroit, right? Again. To wrap this all up together, this is talking about the Knicks winning a championship and getting through the East. And right now, the only problem that I see getting through the East that we probably had the most debate about was The Wizards.
Yeah, we spent the most time and we gave the most respect to the Wizards out of all these teams.
The
Boston didn't
Wizards.
get our respect.
The Wizards. Right? Even I mean, look, we went through we Atlanta and the Wizards are probably, in my opinion, the two toughest teams as of now that we went through to get past. Right? And now we move into the big dogs. Right? So I'm gonna save these losers for last. Actually, no, I'm gonna get them out of the way now. The New Jersey Nets.
I think that's the biggest dog. Who's the
Biggest
other team?
dog. Biggest dog, right? So
Yeah.
Joe Harris is gonna play. Why does it keep doing that?
Patty Mills.
Patty Mills is gonna play. You think Patty Mills is gonna start over? What's my
not
guy
start.
at?
Not start
No.
just on like in a rotation.
What happened to that one guy? Oh, they lost him. Mike James. They lost Mike James?
Yeah, I don't think they brought him back, Mike James.
What? Wow.
But they replaced him pretty good. They got some talent on their roster. They basically replaced him with Patty Mills.
You put Patty Mills over Mike James? Mike James was a nice piece, man.
Yeah, but Patty Mills been doing it for a lot of years, 12 years, and he still could score. He still gave it to USA in the summertime.
All right, so we go Kyrie Irving,
Bruce Brown.
James
Gotta
Harden,
give Bruce Brown some love.
Kevin
there.
Durant,
Shamet,
Landry Shamet, Blake Griffin. That's who I was looking for. Blake Griffin at the power forward. I'm looking at their starting five. This is what I'm looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4. And who's their center? Who's going to start? LaMarcus Aldridge is back. They actually said that he came back. No injuries to report. They said
do they look
back.
at Jahlil Okafor as their starting center? Because I don't see a center on their team aside from Aldridge.
So what do you want to fight between these two? Have them kill each other over it? Somebody's gonna blow a blood vessel or blow a knee. Which one?
I don't know.
Which one? Right? So whatever. Them two. That's a. If you ask me, they that starting five alone destroys us, but we keep up with our defense. We keep up because of coaching.
Do they destroy us though? It's really just those three players: Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. Outside of those guys, you got to worry about a guy like Joe Harris doing something to us. Getting those little.
So let's come off the bench now.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I highlight that? I didn't mean to highlight that. Let's come off the bench now. Off the bench, we go. Goddamn. Off the bench, we go Patty Mills, Joe Harris, Landry Shamet. We made the argument. Brown. Bruce Brown. Well, are you going to start Bruce Brown over Landry Shamet?
Bruce Brown played pretty good. If he didn't come back with the Nets, he probably could actually be in anybody's rotation. He's a decent player. Bruce Brown.
Yeah, but are you going to put him over Landry Shamet? This is what I'm asking. This is you answer the question. Whoever you answer the question with, I'll pop them out.
Well, they're comparable talents.
So who do you want? Landry Shamet, and we're looking at 10-man rotation.
Right.
So
I don't know, man.
1, 2. Right.
Well, I mean, they're gonna be relying on some of these other guys too. This Siku, whatever his name is, and Cameron Thomas. They're gonna be relying on these guys. Yeah.
That's so.
James Johnson.
Is Sekou Demboya going to get minutes over Joe Harris at the 3?
No,
because I get Joe Harris is playing his says guard, but at 6'6", 220, and all he's doing is shooting, he's probably going to be playing a 3. Right. So that's why I got him up there. So the lock really is between Landry Shamet and Bruce Brown.
James Johnson too. They brought him in there to be like an enforcer kind of guy. James Johnson,
6'7", 240. Is he going to play the power forward?
I don't know. I think out of necessity he's going to have to. I'm just looking at their roster. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be that guy to help them out to do those little things. That's where they have a problem at. They don't have anybody that's going to do little things for them.
As I take my shot,
I mean, definitely that's like a legit concern for them because outside of the big three, let's say if Kyrie gets hurt again, or is Kyrie vaccinated? That's another thing.
Yep,
If
Greenhouse.
Kyrie,
Greenhouse. Good looking out. Greenhouse. Is
what is
Kyrie
that?
vaccinated? That we don't know what that might be. But again, I don't want to jump down the rabbit hole with that.
Nah, man, jump down the rabbit hole.
But
If Kyrie's not vaccinated, that's half the season right there. That's 41 games that he's not gonna be able to play because he's not
right,
vaccinated. So if Kyrie don't play 41 games, are they making the are they? Well, they probably will make the
they'll
playoffs
make the
still,
playoffs.
right?
But they'll make the playoffs, and they'll make the playoffs at like the number 6, 7, or 8 seed.
Yeah,
Which
talk about it.
you know, not that there'll be a well, the bubble's 7 and 8.
Yeah,
Are they bubble?
but I mean,
That's
look at their
it's
backup guys.
It's so crazy to
about
even say that right now
yeah,
because of those three names. Like, and again, I'm not looking at this shit, and I'm not saying that like I'm really looking at this from a real legitimate bird's eye view. Like Kyrie Irving not playing, only playing 41 games changes everything. Granted, the guy doesn't play that many games per he's bound to get injured anyway, right? Does he stay healthy with only playing 41 games? I don't know.
yeah.
Right? Which means he's probably not going to be doing he's going to have a few back-to-backs away on the road. Like, does he stay healthy? I don't know. Right?
Well, I mean, they got rid of all of their guys that would do the dirty work. They had Jared Allen. They got rid of him. Go down the line. They got rid of Jeff Green. Jeff Green's not on the roster anymore. So who's going to do the dirty work for them? DeAndre Jordan's not there anymore.
He wasn't doing anything dirty anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, it says no. Somebody said Landry Shaman is on the Suns now. No, he can't be on the Suns. This is
Yo, you know what?
sure.
I think he's on the Suns. I think they messed that up. Let me look it up myself.
Because that changes a lot too. Well, not so much for the bench, because now Bruce Brown's the guy that you got running it.
Yeah, he's on Phoenix, bro. He's on Phoenix.
He's on Phoenix? Okay, so Landry Shaman's off. Too easy. James Johnson, Joe Harris, Patty Mills, and which one of these guys are going to be fighting for center?
Let me tell you something. They got three guys on their roster. Kyrie, like I said, Kyrie might not even play half their games. Now you're talking about Harden and Durant doing everything, all the scoring. Who is rebounding? Who is defending? You know what I'm saying? Who's setting these picks? You know what I'm saying? Who is shooting these shots that these guys are going to create double teams and stuff?
You better hope Blake Griffin's knee holds up, because if that, he's going to turn into a role-playing rebounding son of a gun, and he don't do that too well.
Yo, look at our roster. Who is guarding Fournier? Who is guarding RJ? Who is guarding Randall? Who is guarding Walker? When we come off the bench, who is guarding Rose? Who is guarding Burks? Who's going to be doing that dirty work to guard the players that we have?
And this is what I'm getting at. The story is manifesting itself.
And defense, I can't tell you the players that they put on this roster are going to play defense. Jaleel Okafor is a center to go along with Marcus Aldridge. What kind of defense they playing?
Jaleel Okafor hasn't done anything his entire career, I don't think.
Yeah, except punching those guys in the parking lot that time.
Right. So again, the New Jersey Nets, it's looking dicey. It's looking dicey, guys. All right. Let's go to the next big dog. The next big dog is Miami.
Miami's the fun team to talk about because
Miami.
To me.
And I like this. I like this. This is where it gets competitive, right? Duncan Robinson's going to play. I'm skipping over Andre Iguodala for now because there's a bit of a problem. Victor Oladipo is going to play, but will he start? I don't know. Tyler Hero is going to play. Udonis Haslem's not going to play. Jimmy Butler.
You miss some guys. Lowry. Well, you're talking about starting lineup.
I'm talking about starting lineup, right? So we'll go Kyle Lowry at the – God damn, why does this keep jumping by itself? Kyle Lowry at the 1, right? Now, out of these three, Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, Duncan Robinson, who do you start at the 2?
Holy shit. Well, probably Duncan Robinson, I guess.
Now, okay, so this is a good problem to have for Miami, and this is why it's exciting.
Right.
Jimmy Butler, obviously at the 3. Now, where do you go at the 4? Obviously, PJ Tucker. Right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your starting lineup. That's crazy, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, what excites me the most about it is the defensive players coming off the bench. You know, Markieff Morris is there. What's the name? Damian Deadman is coming off the bench.
Okay, so now what do we do at the point guard position? Right? This guy, Marcus Garrett, is on a 2-way contract. I have no who he is. DJ Stewart Jr., he's a rookie. Don't know him. This dude, Max Struss, don't know him. Right? Can Tyler Hero play the 1?
You know, they kind of did play him at the 1 a lot, Tyler Hero.
So Tyler Hero at the 1, right? I'm cool with that, right? At the 2, are you going Andre Iguodala or are you going Victor Oladipo?
You got to go Victor Oladipo, but is Victor Oladipo ready to play?
He's not on the injury report.
He got a lot to prove too, you know.
He's not on
Victor
the injury
Oladipo.
report. Yeah, so he's got a lot to prove. At the 3, where do you go? Do you go Andre Iguodala at the 3? Or do you go Markieff Morris at the 3?
Well, Markieff Morris is definitely like a power forward center kind of guy.
6'9", 245. Okay, so Andre Iguodala at the 3. 17 years, that guy.
It's a lot of years in the NBA.
Markieff Morris at the 4, or we're like, so it's got to be Markieff Morris between these two. Who's Markieff Morris at the 4?
Yeah,
and Dwayne Dedman at the 5. 8 years.
Yeah, yes, he's good.
Now, here we go. Let's scroll over again. Kevin Knox, Evan Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett, Nerlens Noel, Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin, Kemba Walker.
Yo, Miami set themselves up to bully Giannis, basically, and to bully Durant. They set themselves up to bully those guys.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because they're very top heavy with the power forwards, so they're gonna be throwing all kind of bodies at those particular teams, even Philly, because they're gonna be looking to body against Embiid and stuff.
Right. So again, all right. We might have to go across, right? Because this is the diciest it's got.
Right.
This is the diciest it's gotten all review of this shit, right? So starting point guards. Champion Kyle Lowry over Kemba Walker. Do those cancel each other out?
Yeah, that's
those
a
get
cancel.
washed. Okay. At the 2, what do you want to do? You want to RJ Barrett at the 2, or you want to Evan Fournier at the 2? What do you want to do?
Evan Fournier at the 2.
Evan Fournier at the 2. Got it. So Evan Fournier at the 2 over, who did we say?
Duncan
Robinson.
Give or take, it's probably like a wash. Maybe Fournier might be better at driving and facilitating or whatever.
Okay, so that washes. So that clears each other out, right? At the 3, Jimmy Butler over RJ Barrett, because we put him at the 3 now. Now, who wins that?
That's interesting because RJ could ascend into the next step, and then if he does that, then that's a wash as well. If they do that. Because Jimmy Butler, quiet as kept, has been kind of regressing a little bit, passing the ball a little bit more than normal.
This is the tightest it's been. Now we go at the 4. Where do we go at the 4? PJ Tucker over Julius Randle. Julius Randle was cooking that guy.
Yeah,
Julius Randle's cooking that guy. He's just gonna stretch him. That's it. No need to beat you in the paint. You're not gonna beat me up. You're not going to beat me up. I'm not going to let you. And you can't beat me up because I'm just as big as you. 6'8", 250. PJ Tucker, 6'5", 245.
Yeah, he's a little guy. He's really a shooting guard.
Comparison.
Yeah.
But PJ Tucker can play. He's a decent, hefty enforcer. I like that, right? But you ain't rocking with Juju, man. You ain't making an all-star team yet. You ain't make an all-team, all-team NBA. You haven't done that yet.
And look at his age too. He's born in 85. He's got some age on him. 36 years
he's
old.
older than me. He's older than me. Right? So you're not out here messing with the young bucks. So Julius Randle wins that. Now we go to the 5. Mitchell Robinson over
Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo. Now, the games that we played with Miami, they all were tight last season. 2 of those games we played without Mitchell Robinson. Granted, Miami swept us, but 2 of those games were without Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's thing is defense. Adebayo does both. But Adebayo isn't nearly as athletic as Mitchell Robinson. And Adebayo is going to be the guy that has to build the extra on the double team. But we got 4 people you got to double team. Adebayo can't be the guy to lead for the double team if Mitchell Robinson has that vertical threat. So I'm not saying that Mitchell Robinson is better than Bam Adebayo. I don't want anybody to get that because that is certainly not the case. But I'm saying that because of the way the defense is set up, Bam Adebayo has to be the extra guy to double either Kemba Walker, RJ, Evan, or Julius. And that's going to give Mitchell Robinson a lot more wiggle room, right?
But check it. This guy Bam Adebayo, he's kind of comparable to Julius Randle in the way that he can do various different things on the court.
Right.
Mitchell Robinson can stay with him.
Mitchell Robinson can. Mitchell Robinson is one of the best big man, switch defenders in the league. And if you can switch defend, then that means you can stretch defend as well.
And he's 7 feet tall.
Adebayo's got a nice midi jump shot.
Yeah, he's 7 foot tall, and you're talking about PJ Tucker 6'5", and the starting center 6'9". Where they going?
So again, this I think this whole starting lineup is like you know what I mean? They all come together. All 5 of them come together where it's just like you can make a case either way. But then you go down that depth chart. And this is where things get dicey for Miami. Because, again, now we go Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, assuming that Tyler Hero is coming off the bench at the point guard. Derrick Rose over Tyler Hero.
It might. I guess you could give him a little bit of respect to watch that. You can watch that too.
Okay,
but you kind of give the edge to Rose because of the experience and that type of thing.
Okay,
leadership.
Victor Oladipo, 8-year injury prone Victor Oladipo over 2-year.
No. What about Alec Burke? Him and Alec Burke are kind of comparable.
If we go on position, sure, we'll go Alec Burke. We'll go Alec Burke. Alec Burke's injuries are nowhere near comparable to Victor Oladipo's injuries. Right. I think if we go Alec Burke wins that. If you ask me, as of right now, Alec Burke wins that. But for the sake of continuity in positions, we'll go Victor Oladipo and Emmanuel Quickley.
Right.
Who wins that battle?
That's also a wash too because Victor has a lot to prove and Emmanuel Quickley is on the come up as well. So,
okay, so now we go to the 3, which is Alec Burke and Duncan Robinson.
Was Duncan Robinson a starter? I think we had him starting.
Duncan Robinson, no, Jimmy Butler's the starter at the 3. Oh no, Duncan Robinson started at the 2. You're right.
Yeah.
Andre Iguodala.
I think we got the
upper hand, I think.
Yeah,
that's tough because Andre Iguodala is very good defensively, but 17 years is 17 years, bro.
Yeah.
17 years and 10 years, like 7 year, a 7-year difference means a lot in life.
Yeah, Iguodala's been playing in the NBA since I was in high school.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
It's fucking crazy, yeah.
So where do you go? What do you do for that? Alec Burke or Iguodala?
Alec Burke at this stage of the game.
Okay, Alec Burke. All right. Now we go. Who we have at the 4? PJ Tucker. No, was PJ Tucker starting?
Yeah, we had him starting at the power
So
forward.
PJ Tucker. Yep. Markeith Morris and Obi Toppin.
That's our Achilles heel, really, because we don't know what Obi's going to give us.
Right.
We assume that he's going to play well, but how well is he going to play against a team like this?
Right.
This is some muscle here.
Right. And now the automatic cancel each other out. Dwayne Dedman and Nerlens Noel. They cancel each other out. Yeah. So again, this is tough to look at. This is as tough as it gets. Right here, Miami, as tough as it gets. Mm-hmm. There's no way around that. Like, this can go either way. Again, I'm going back to the stars aligning. Right? Age is a factor with this team. And injury is a factor with our
team. Speaking of age, I wasn't in high school. I was about 25 as well. Me and Tricky Nicky are about the same age.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. Let's move on, right? Miami is the toughest. We would agree thus far between Miami, Washington, and Atlanta. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's it. Okay. And that's funny. Doesn't that sound silly?
That sounds silly.
It sounds silly, but we went through it and we went through it objectively. It's not like we went through it on some fanboy, bullshit,
I'm not bringing up no bullshit, people. This is why I'm saying the Knicks could very well win a championship this year. I don't want to. We will have to go through the West on another day, right?
Right.
But the West, they got their own problems. They got their own big problems.
Well, just through a big board kind of thing. Like, if there's like one or two teams you think can come out the West, who will be in the finals to go against the Knicks? So I don't know about Phoenix. Phoenix might be there, but they signed Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton was a big off-season acquisition.
Definitely not the Clippers because Kawhi is out.
Right.
I think you have to, because of who he is, you have to put the Lakers there, man. Like, you have to. Jamal Murray is out, so you can't really count Denver unless he's healthy by the playoffs.
Well, Tricky Nicky says Jazz and the Lakers.
I'm going to Jazz, bro. Tricky Nicky, you took it right out. I'm like omitting everybody. I'm not counting Portland. I'm not counting Sacramento, obviously. I'm not counting Dallas. I'm not counting Memphis. I'm not counting damn sure not counting San Antonio. It's got to be those two. I would say you would have to do 3, and it will be Jazz, Lakers, and just putting respect on Phoenix's name because they made it to the championship. You got to throw them in there. So between those three. But in that order, Lakers, Jazz, Phoenix, in that order.
Well, let's say the Jazz make it to the finals because let's say the injury bug hits the Lakers and they don't make it again for whatever reason, because that's possible because they got a lot of old guys on their team. So if the Utah Jazz make it, like you have it ready?
Yeah, I'm about to pull them up right now. Utah Jazz.
Yeah, go through it, man. I just went through it on my phone here just now.
Utah Jazz. All right.
So the Knicks made it to the finals right now, and we got the Jazz. We're playing against the Jazz.
All right, hold on. Let me take. All right, and
Nerlens.
Okay, so we go Mike Conley, Joe Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. Oh.
Eric Pascal? I don't know. Rudy Gay? They got Rudy Gay
at the 4. Rudy Gay at the 4. Okay, that's their 5.
Yeah.
Wait, Rudy Gay is 6'8", 250? Yeah. Now, Mike Conley, Kemba Walker, wash.
Yep.
Right? Donovan Mitchell, Evan Fournier.
Donovan's going to cook him.
Or Donovan Mitchell, RJ.
It's a little better matchup, but I think on Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan wins that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Ingles, Evan Fournier.
That's a wash.
Okay. Rudy Gay, Julius Randle.
Julius Randle's gonna cook that kid, man. Cook that old man.
And the guy that I don't show any respect to, Rudy Gobert and Mitchell Robinson.
With all due respect, that's a wash too. Head-to-head matchup.
So now your outliers are who? Donovan Mitchell and Julius Randle. That either one of those can give you 35 on any crazy given night.
Yo, Donovan Mitchell gonna have to get 50. Because I think our defense is gonna be good enough to at least keep these guys in check. Because I mean, you want to talk about guys like Bogdanovich? He's good. Bogdanovich is good. Jordan Clarkson is another guy. Their bench really is going to be the ones that's really going to give us the problem.
Now, Tricky Nicky gives Gobert the upper hand, but I'm telling you, I don't like. I wish I'm Rudy Gobert and Mitchell Robinson are the same guy to me.
Yeah,
they're the same guy. Just one of them makes more money.
Yeah, well, Rudy Gobert, he's basically been 14 and 13 the last couple of years. But you can't give him the ball and say, "Give me a basket."
No, you can't. His 14 and 13 has literally come from rim running, and putbacks. And it just so happens that he's got a lot of that because you got a lot of players that can't finish. They got players that can shoot, but players that don't finish. Right. So if that's the championship lineup,
we got a shot.
I'm telling you, we have a shot. We have a shot. And we win that if Donovan Mitchell wants a trade. Hey, I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole. We're not going to do that. Not this episode, right? Let's go back to the East. Let's go back to the East, right? So who are we left with? We're left with the last three powerhouses, which is Philadelphia, which we'll get to them, Milwaukee, and Philly and Milwaukee. That's it.
Well, we basically talked about Philly because when we was talking about the trade with Cleveland, Philly don't got nothing outside of Embiid.
Let's go into it. Let's build into it just for clarity, right? Just for clarity. Danny Green's here. He's a dirty work guy, right? Shake Milton, Andre Drummond, Matisse Thybulle, Seth Curry. They're lock jammed at guard. Ben Simmons. Got to count him just for now. Where you at, Joel? Joel Embiid. Okay. Now, starting five. Oh, where's Matisse Thybulle at? Oh, Tobias Harris. Okay, Tobias Harris. Okay. So, Joel Embiid. Take Shake Milton out. Now, what do you do here? Joel Embiid at the 5. Matisse Thybulle is playing the forward or the 4. Ben Simmons is going to play the 1. Who's playing the 2? It's got to be between these two.
Well,
or
Matisse,
Shake Milton.
Yeah, Shake Milton's another guy. Well, they also got that guy Kurzmas too.
Kurzmas, right?
Yeah, he's decent also.
Now, okay, big problems now. Big problems.
Who do you choose?
Problems. Who do you choose?
Yeah, Shake Milton is part of that group too.
The only guy here that's guarding R.J. Barrett and Evan Fournier, Matisse Thybulle, but he can't shoot. He can't shoot. So what do you do? You put him in, and as of right now, you run Ben Simmons, 2 non-shooters. Because if you take Matisse Thybulle out and you put in Korkmaz, or you put in Seth Curry, let's go that way.
Or
Ben Simmons.
If you run Danny Green also, but he's like a 12-year vet.
Where do you run him at? You run him at the 3?
Danny Green, I don't know. Who's their power forward over there?
Their power forward has been Tobias Harris.
Exactly. Who else is backing them up there? What other big man do they have over there besides Drummond? Drummond's a center.
They got a two-way guy, rookie. I don't know. Paul Reed, who the hell is that? He went to DePaul. Whatever.
Yeah, he was a
Now,
rookie last year.
yeah. So what do you do here? George Niang, Iowa State. Where's that? I don't know these guys, right? And they're still top heavy on contracts, to say the least.
Yeah.
To say the least. Look at this. 35 million, 35 million, 35 million. So the guy that's been complaining to leave has got to go. This team is in freaking shambles right now, people.
And
Shambles.
people are penciling 76ers in there as if this stuff is not going on. They totally
How?
ignored it until Ben Simmons said that he's not coming back.
And I called this when their 4 top players, bro, they had nobody on their team other than their top 4 2 seasons ago, which was Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Al Horford, which he got a bag. I don't know fucking how he got a bag. Al Horford and Tobias Harris all making over $32 million a year, right? I said, yo, if they don't move one of those contracts, they're in basketball purgatory for the next 10 years, right? Sure enough, they went and gave Ben Simmons a bag, and then they were able to somehow convince Oklahoma City to take it. But Oklahoma City was like, yeah, we'll take them, but you got to get fleeced with draft picks. So there goes the start of you going to basketball purgatory again, right? And Elton Brand is a wild man, bro. He should have been out of there.
Shit you drinking, man.
Right along with Brett Brown, he should have been out of there. Right along with him, should have been out of there. But that's neither here nor there, right? So again, they got a problem at the power forward position, which Tobias Harris held his own offensively against Julius Randle, but Julius Randle was still eating with Philadelphia, right? I would even go so far as to say they got a problem with guarding Obi Toppin too right now.
Their defense don't look good. Their defense don't look good to me.
Doesn't look good right now. This team is in shambles. The only thing they got right now, if you ask me, are those 3. And I'm only putting Andre Drummond up there because I'm not going to discount averaging more than 15 points, creating his own shot, and grabbing 11 rebounds a game with Detroit for a while. I'm not going to discredit that. But now he's coming off that bench, which is the same role he was doing with the Lakers, right? I'm like, you can't convince me. I'm sorry, like I'm still high on Drummond. I get what he did, but you can't convince me. 13, 13, 16, 13, 15, 17, 17, 17, 17, 14, 17, and then 11. Right?
And then look at the steals and blocks and assists and all that.
Right. Blocks, 1.6, 1.6, 1.9, 1.4, 1, 1.6, 1.7, 1.6, 1.7. That's top of the league right here. That's top of the league right there. Up until Toronto, which is nothing. Because he played a few games in Toronto. He played a few games with Cleveland.
Well, that's a total between Cleveland and the Lakers. TOT?
Well,
that's total.
No. Oh, total. Yeah, you're right. Total. I'm sorry, I didn't see the underline. I said Toronto. Okay, yeah, Cleveland and Lakers total. 1.4, which is still not bad. Assists for a big man, two assists. Total rebounds, 12 rebounds. Let's go to rebounds. 7, 13, 13, 14, 13, 16, 15, 15, 15, 11, 12. He was at the top of the rebounding league, a rebounding stat for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You can't discredit that, regardless of how bad Detroit was. He was an all-star twice. You can't discredit that. That skill set of being able to box out players and grab boards, that doesn't drop out. You don't just lose that, right? So again, at the big man position, which really isn't saying much because nobody's really guarding Mitchell Robinson, right? Mitchell Robinson's got to work. Nerlens Noel's got to work. So that's where they dwell. That's where they thrive at, Philadelphia. Good job. Good job.
They didn't
Right?
get better, man.
But Joel Embiid's going to be averaging, 29 between 29 and 31 minutes a game. He's going to be averaging. So Andre Drummond, the guy who was averaging some pretty decent minutes his entire career, is going to be taken aback. So you can just cut those in half.
I want to talk about injuries too. Joel Embiid, he's always hurt every time
always
you look around.
hurt. Always hurt. So that means that the guy that you're going to have leading the way is Tobias Harris, my people. Because Ben Simmons is supposed to be leaving. You're going to have to get a pretty package. So this is your core right here. Shake Milton. No. Seth. Oh, and Tyrese Maxey. And Seth Curry. That's your core. And you put that core up against, that off bench against Derrick Rose, Obi Toppin, Alec Burke, Emmanuel Quickly, and Nerlens Noel. And the only thing that really gets exploited is Nerlens Noel, if you ask me.
Right. And then our rookies are good too. We didn't even talk about Jericho Sims, freaking
I don't even want to count them.
Yeah.
I don't even want to count them yet, just because the minutes, and we know our coach.
Right.
We know our coach very well, right?
But just talent wise, you were talking about practice and stuff like that.
Now, Tom Thibodeau, Doc Rivers, wash. They cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So now you just have the skill set of these players. Bro, we're looking at this as objective as possible. Love, Tricky Nicky. We're looking at this as objective as possible, people. This isn't me trying to make up some bullshit. I'll be the first to say it. We're going through it all the way. Now, we got the biggest of the big dog.
Allegedly right now. Where you at? Did I forget my ABCs? Milwaukee. There we go. Milwaukee. You got to turn your headphones down a little bit, though. I'm hearing the echo.
Turn my headphones down? Hold up. I got you.
Yeah, because you took them off your ears. That's what happened.
Okay, cool. All right. Here we go. All right. So we're going automatic Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez, and who they had at the 2?
It was PJ Tucker. Well, he was at the 4. PJ Tucker.
Okay, so
Pat.
Giannis is playing the 4, obviously. Yeah. Brook Lopez at the 5, Drew Holiday at the 1, Chris Middleton at the 3. Do you go Pat Connaughton?
I don't know. 6'5", 209 pounds. I don't know. Do they stop Bobby Portis at this point?
Hell no. Unless you plan on moving Giannis to the 3. I don't know why they have him at forward guard. That's weird. But you move Giannis to the 3. You move Giannis to the 3, and that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
That becomes a real problem.
So it's probably Pat then. Pat, if you're going to keep Giannis at the 4.
Okay, keep Giannis at the floor, Pat Connaughton.
Yeah.
So that's your starting 5. Mm-hmm. Right? So let's go our starting 5. Kemba, RJ, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle. Where you at, Money Mitch? Mitchell Robinson. Okay. Brook Lopez, Mitchell Robinson.
I think Mitchell Robinson can defend him. So it might be a nice little wash.
Now, can Brook Lopez defend Mitchell Robinson pick and roll?
He's slow-footed. That's the problem.
Mitchell Robinson wins that for me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Brook Lopez can stretch the floor like he magically turned it around a few years ago, but Mitchell Robinson can defend the 3.
Yeah.
He's arguably the best 3-point defending center we have seen.
Yeah, don't get me started with that because we already did like a 7-hour podcast.
I know. Yeah. Granted, he's not going to be playing that type of role, right?
Right.
But we agreed defensively, Mitchell Robinson can hold his own, but offensively, Brook Lopez is not guarding the pick and roll because Mitchell Robinson's too quick, too agile, jumps out the gym. Mitchell Robinson wins that for me.
Yeah.
Hands down. Although Brook Lopez, 13-year vet, tricks up his sleeve, showed some real grit in the finals.
Yeah, he can still score inside. You give him the ball, he could kind of still score inside too.
I'm giving the edge to Mitchell Robinson, right? So now we go to the 4. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Julius Randle. I made the argument on the last show that there was only 4 players, that you couldn't get me 4 power forwards to guard Julius Randle. This is one of the guys that I named that can guard him. Can Julius Randle at all-team NBA, top 4 defenders in the league, as far as points allowed, does he guard super duper star Giannis Antetokounmpo?
He can't. You've seen it so many different times. Julius Randle sitting on an island, and there's just Giannis just turn around and just banging him, embarrassing him and stuff. But team defense, if you're playing like 5-man against 5-man, we can isolate Antetokounmpo for the most part, and offensively we can get Julius Randle open, to get his little things. So in a team concept, I think that Julius Randle will be fine. But one-on-one, it's like a no contest.
Giannis kills him. Okay, so we'll go Giannis. Giannis by far. Got you, Tricky Nicky. We on the same page. Again, I'm just being Socratic. I'm just throwing the questions out there, right? Chris Middleton and RJ Barrett or Evan Fournier.
Well, if you put him with RJ Barrett, that's a wash. I think they're both the same exact player. I think RJ. I think it's possible RJ could get right up to where Chris Middleton is, which is not that far from him.
Okay. So, do you think RJ's next step offensively, outside of the dribble moves, creating your own shot off the dribble, do you think RJ's next step is Chris Middleton?
Yeah, I think that's probably like the next step there.
Okay, because again, for me, if you ask RJ to do everything that he was supposed to, everything that he did last year, but more consistently, he is Chris Middleton. But if you ask him, again, I said this before and people jump down my throat. Now I hear a lot of people talking about it now. But if you ask RJ to increase what he can do off the dribble, he's Paul Pierce. But again, I'm the bad guy for saying that, and now all of a sudden, like, we got a lot of people that's starting to say that now. But nonetheless,
Paul Pierce is one of the best offensive, one-on-one players, especially the league has seen, man. He invented all that side stepping, step back, 3-pointer bullshit that people do now. He invented that shit.
Sure. But the one thing that he's missing, one thing that RJ is missing is dribble move.
Right.
Dribble move. That's the one thing he's missing in that comparison. Right, if you ask me. So whatever, we don't want to dig too deep down that rabbit hole, but Chris Middleton, RJ, that washes, right? And then you go, why do I have Pat Connaughton up here? Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, Pat Connaughton and Evan Fournier.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it now too because I don't know why I was looking at Giannis as a 3, but DiVincenzo was like their big guy before he got hurt. So DiVincenzo might actually be the starting shooting guard there.
DiVincenzo, May 28th. I'm glad you brought that up because that's why I didn't bring him. Suffered a tendon injury in his foot. Will miss the rest of the playoffs, according to Shams of The Atlantic. So he's out for the playoff. A tendon injury. We don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's tough.
We don't know what that is. Didn't we had a guy that had a tendon injury over there in New Jersey, right? I'm not saying whatever. Let's not go too deep into that.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, you want to say DiVincenzo? Okay, fine. DiVincenzo over Pat Connaughton. DiVincenzo versus Evan Fournier. 6'4", 203. 6'7", 205.
I think you can give it to Fournier there.
Fournier gets it. Or let's take him out and we'll go back. Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton over Evan Fournier. Where do you go?
It might be the same results there.
Okay, so Evan Fournier's got that. And then Drew Holiday, this is where it gets dicey. Drew Holiday and our guy Kemba Walker.
You know, Drew Holiday's main thing is not really scoring, because scoring, I feel like the whole playoffs, he almost let the Bucks down the whole playoffs, Drew Holiday. But his defense, though, sometimes when he locks on defense, he plays some really, really, really good defense, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to have to play defense of his life to keep Walker out of it. And then once he got Walker locked down, Rose can come off the bench and take him off the dribble too. So he got his work cut out for him there with those two guys.
Words cut out, right?
Yeah.
So then we go down the depth chart. Who's coming off the bench at the 1? Is it George Hill? Is it? I don't know who this guy is. Where's their depth? Bobby Portis is going to come off the bench at the 4, right? Who's coming off the bench at the 5?
This guy Forbes is Forbes still on that team there? Brian Forbes.
Brian Forbes. Okay, so he's coming off the bench at the 2.
Yeah.
And then who's coming off the bench at the 3? Rodney Hood or DiVincenzo?
Probably could go both.
Probably not DiVincenzo. We say Rodney Hood. Now, again, here's my last guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I missing? Oh, Alec Burke.
Alec Burke. Yep.
What do we do, people? Does George Hill guard Derrick Rose? Hell no. Does Brian Forbes guard Emmanuel Quickly at 6'2", 205? You got to be a little bit bigger than that. You got to be a little bit bigger than that. It's definitely not a wash, right? Emmanuel Quickly showed what he can do. I think Emmanuel Quickly wins that. Does Rodney Hood guard Alec Burke?
They're arguably about the same player, but I just like Alec Burke a lot better because of his ball handling and things like that.
Okay.
Being able to actually take over a game. Alex Burke has shown he could do that. So
now we can look at this one both ways. Does Bobby Portis guard his replacement?
Who, Nerlens or Obi?
No, Obi.
That's gonna be interesting. What's the name? Bobby Portis don't have no lateral movement.
Can't run the floor either.
Yeah.
I think Obi. I mean, Milwaukee looks close, right? Just off of that alone, because Nerlens Noel isn't getting you anything,
right? And
because Nerlens Noel is not getting anything, and these guys don't really have an off the bench center like that, that kind of cancels each other out. If you ask me, because Bobby Portis is probably going to be the 5 there, and Rodney Hood be the 4. Like, they're just lighting their ass after PJ Tucker leaves. And PJ Tucker was just a 6'5" stocky guy that was like, he'll play 4 guard. You know what I mean? So, again, somebody said, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, you're 6'6", bro. Jordan Norwar? Is that what just came up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What did he say? He went back to the Spurs this offseason. Who went back to the Spurs?
Forbes.
Brian Forbes on the Spurs. Oh, okay. Back on the Spurs.
So that changes a lot for them too, because Forbes was kind of a good player for them coming up.
They got Bobby Portis up here twice. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Listen, my point is.
Grayson Allen. You forgot about Grayson Allen up top. He's a bum too, though.
What are we doing here, man? So again, we just laid the narrative out to you, people. It's not very far fetched. The only thing that the only stars that we need to align, in my opinion, this season is our 2-point guards stay healthy and Obi Toppin pops. If everybody plays the same way they played last season, and our 2-point guards stay healthy, and Obi Toppin pops, we are competing for a championship.
Yeah.
It's not far off.
It's also the outside chance that we can make a Rasheed Wallace kind of trade too.
I don't want to again. I'm cool with the rabbit hole stuff. I'm cool
Right.
with it. I'm looking at it from a face value. If you want to go down a trade rabbit hole, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, and that reminds me for my next shot. Okay, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
You know,
you said it. You said it just there. Face value. For face value, we looked at everything face value, not looking at any variables, things of that nature. If everything stayed the same, just roster to roster, Knicks winning championship in 2021, 2022, it looks good. The chances look pretty good.
and to Jarrell, Mitch being healthy is huge, but let's not act like he was just this super unhealthy guy. That narrative is bullshit. It's so bullshit. Like, he got injured, 2 big injuries twice on the same season, 4 games apart. Like, he broke his hand, was out for a month and a half to 2 months, came back, and in 4 games broke his foot. That's freak stuff. Before that, it was like 61 games, 66 games. You know what I mean? And then down to 40-something games. So
For more talk about Mitchell Robinson, please go to the last podcast that we did.
Go to the last
it was
one.
like 8 hours, talking
Go
about
to the
Mitchell
last
Robinson.
one.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not far-fetched. Mitchell Robinson will be healthy. He will be healthy. He, super limber guy. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about him. You say I'm jinxing Mitch? Gregory says I'm jinxing Mitch. No, man, it's just real. It is what it is, man. What we need is not to hit the injury bug down the stretch. And we have enough depth. We haven't even I purposely did that not to take slight of these guys, which showed promise. Not so much Amir Sims, but the other 3 showed promise.
Well, right there with the injury bug, if we get the injury bug, those guys can fill those spots easily. Yeah, I have confidence in those guys better than some of the guys that we heard on some of these other teams. Never heard a day in our lives. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to help those teams in the case of injury.
And I want to do this. I want to remind everybody. Let's see something real quick. Atlanta, what did they say? Oh, man. We need a backup point guard. That's what Atlanta said, right? Yeah. We need a backup point guard. Weren't we? We were supposed to. Everybody was like, we need Sharif Cooper. This is the Knicks fans. We need Sharif Cooper. Then we got this guy, and this guy, Miles McBride, picked him up full court the whole game.
Put him in his back pocket.
And he only had 7 points in the preseason outing against Miles McBride. 7 points and like 3 or 4 turnovers or something like that, right?
Locked his ass up.
Locked him the hell up. So what do we got with these 2? I'm not saying there's one better than the other. One is a proven star. The other one is a guy we got late in the draft. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
this guy, Josh, he keeps coming in at the end of the podcast, with all the stuff to say, man. We did like damn near 2 hours worth of explaining our case, man. So you definitely got to go back and skim through that, man.
Josh, and it's because Josh has been my arch nemesis for the last 2 years. So he's gonna come in and he's gonna say something real slick. But I made a solid case for everybody. So please, Josh, before you come in with your shenanigans, right? I know you out there on the West Coast, right? I think you're on the West Coast right now. I know you somewhere, right? Take the time, go back and listen to what we're really saying, right? And really look at what we put on the screen. We kept the screen up the whole time so the fans can see what's going on, right? It's not far off. If anything, our biggest problems, based off of the way we see it right now, our biggest problems are Miami, Milwaukee, and Washington on the East. On the West, it's the Lakers, it's Utah, and it's Phoenix.
Well,
Just
we didn't
saying
even
not
say
that far.
the Bucks. We were saying Atlanta.
Oh yeah. Well, Atlanta. We did say that. We did say Atlanta. We took the Bucks out because they don't have real depth after the starting lineup. So yeah, Atlanta, but Atlanta's stopgap.
Yo, Josh, I'm your number one fan, man. When everybody was shitting on you and whatever, I was the guy that was saying that Josh is like one of the best podcasters out there. Now look at you. Now everybody, they can talk all their junk, but they tune in every single time you post something. Every time you make a podcast, they tune in right in there to see you, man. So
he says Brooklyn isn't a problem. What am I sipping? This is what I'm sipping, and we already went into why Brooklyn's not a problem.
Yeah, man, you gotta scroll and find that.
You gotta go find that. We went into why Brooklyn's not a problem. And first off, shame on you for calling them Brooklyn. They're not Brooklyn. They are New Jersey. All right, that's what we do over here. So again, we went over why. It's not far fetched, guys. It's not that far fetched. I don't see. I'll be the first one to say it. I've already indirectly prophesized us drafting Obi Toppin. Right? I've already indirectly prophesized us getting Kemba Walker. Right? I need one more thing to prophesize. And I'm telling you right now.
What is an indirect prophesize, man? What are you talking about?
Here's why.
Indirect
prophesize.
What's the indirect prophecy?
All right. So when everybody was losing their mind, we want Kyrie and KD. I said no. I want Kemba and KD because they were on the same year.
So you're talking about 2 years prior? You're talking about you're the
we got him.
prophecy?
We got him, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Poppy ain't no snitch.
Oh my god!
We got him. I wanted Kemba, right? I bought my son the number 8 jersey with his name on it. 8 minutes before the draft, 8 minutes before they told us we got the number 8 pick and we drafted Obi Toppin.
I give you that.
In indirect prophecies.
I give you that.
Right. So I'm saying now, we just went through the whole thing. There's no reason. The stars don't align. Let Greenhouse know. LOL, the number 8. Greenhouse knows. There's no reason. The stars aligning. The story is right. You got your coach that came back home that's coaching for the team he wanted to play for. You got your all-star who's already talking about wanting to win a championship. You got the positions that we've been wanting to get filled for the last 15 years. We filled them, and now nobody's really even discussing that point guard position no more. Right? Nobody's really big talking about it. Accident of premonition. I like that one. Nobody's really talking about the point guard position anymore because they're like, oh, we got really 5 guys that can play the point guard or that can play quasi point guard. Right? Kemba Walker's a point guard. Derrick Rose is a point guard. They're clearly grooming Emmanuel quickly to try to be a point guard. Alec Burke can play it, although he's not supposed to. He's done it. And then Deuce. 5 guys.
Accidental premonition. That's what is that like 4 shots in? A drunk. That's what that is. Being an alcoholic.
So I mean, whatever you want to call it. Evergreen been selling bean pies. The finals cause people wearing bow ties.
Yo, Evergreen. Not for nothing. I totally see you with a freaking a bow tie and final call. I totally see you.
Get your bean pies, Ed. It's again. I'm not
bean pie, brother.
I'm not. Hey man. We don't eat no pork over here. I really don't eat pork too. That's what's funny about it. So again, this is not to. I really put some real thought into this, and I was trying my best to do it without being the emotional Knick fan, like very analytical. The emotions would eventually it would eventually come out, but a lot of it was, we went through the whole thing. We analyzed, Chicago is a wash. We should be able to easily get through them. They have zero continuity. Damn near everybody on that team is new. The people that they had retained from last season, they were new, right? Charlotte, their lockjam is the forward position. What are they going to do there? They have nothing. They have no answer for the big man, right? Miami is an outlier. They're the deepest that we can go against, right? Brooklyn, while they look deep, they're just at 3, and Kyrie Irving's not vaccinated. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I got you. Kyrie's not vaccinated. You have your top 3, and after that, their bench is depleted, right? After you get past that top 3, their bench is depleted. I mean,
they have no center.
They have no center. LaMarcus Aldridge is coming back, right? They moved DeAndre Jordan to Detroit.
For Jahlil Okafor, for Christ's sake.
Jahlil Okafor, of all people, right? What happened to KD and Kyrie? Those are my boys. What happened to that? All that shit he was talking about. Yeah, I didn't play any games for the Knicks. All that shit he was talking. Went over to Brooklyn, played second fiddle to Jared Allen. They moved Jared Allen. Following the season, they moved his broke ass. Right after the big 3, which are horrible defenders. The only one that's a good defender is KD. After the big 3, there's no depth. There's no depth. Then you go to Miami. After their starting 5, which if you match them up, there's no depth. The deepest teams that we're going against is Miami, and in my opinion, Washington. As crazy as it sounds. So what do you say? What do you say? I would say I think the Kyrie vaccination thing is real. That might be a huge story coming into the season. Wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie retires. I wouldn't be either. And now that's 41 games. If he plays, that's only 41 games, which he'll probably play back-to-backs on the road, and he'll probably get hurt like he always does every season. So
and they probably take days off for that barbecue, the bar mitzvahs and baby showers and shit like that he did last year.
So 41 games. That means you got James Harden and KD. Like the depth for the New Jersey Nets is not there, people. It's just top heavy. It's like when you see a bad chick walking down the street and she got big old booty and no titties. Like, damn, she thick as hell. As soon as you run up on her, hey ma, and you look at her and she got a butterface.
Say titties again.
Titties. You know what I mean? So like,
I don't think I ever want to hear you say titties ever again.
It's weird. It's whatever. I'm a 90s baby. I'm an 80s baby. What do you want to
do? Titties. Yeah.
But after that, what do you have, New Jersey? What do you have? Boston? No depth at the bigs at all. And Jaylen Brown is out right now. Might I remind you, injury reports right here. It's not me saying it. Where's he at?
Up top.
You go. Jaylen Brown. That boy had wrist surgery. Hope he'll be retained by training camp. Again, is that HOP word? Hope. Hope. All right? So this is not far-fetched.
That's the biggest point too. Check out this point that Julio's saying that if the Nets play in MSG, if Kyrie's not vaccinated, he can't play in MSG either.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? Do we sweep that? All right. Do we sweep Brooklyn without Kyrie?
It's possible. I mean, with Durant got to drop 50, Harden got to drop 50, and they can. Both of those two guys by themselves can drop 100 points by themselves, if they had to. But who's rebounding? Who's guarding our guys? Because they can get 50 or 40. They can get 40 apiece all they want. but somebody got to guard Julius, somebody got to guard Walker, somebody got to guard Fournier, somebody got to guard all the guys that we have.
Now, mind you,
somebody got to rebound.
So look, put Josh up there. Don't forget, no. Boston's bigs are better than ours. Al Horford cooked Mitchell Robinson last season prior to Mitch's injury, and they got Ennis. Okay.
That's about it. But we're talking about the rest of their squad.
Okay. So is who's guarding Julius Randle on that team?
That's a big question.
Ennis Cantor got a 44-piece dropped on him. A 40-piece with 4 biscuits dropped on him. Right? Al Horford, you might have an argument there.
He's a good player, man, but we're talking team for team.
We're talking
5 guys for 5.
Like Boston is another top. I wouldn't even say they're top heavy. Jason Tatum. So you're saying Jason Tatum and Al Horford, which is that's the crux of your offense right there. Marcus Smart isn't doing it, right? Let's go to it. Let's do it one last time, just for the shits and giggles, so everybody doesn't say that Evergreen is just this guy that's just like the super biased guy. Because I'm really trying to look at this as evenly played as possible, right? So you go Jaylen Brown, who can't play, so you automatically got to take him out once again. Dennis Schroeder, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, right? Who's playing the 4 now? Who's playing the 4? What are you going to do?
We're having because outside of that, now you got to add some of these other guys, like Robert Williams and all this other stuff.
Are you going to go Jabari Parker? Are you going to go Robert Williams at the 4? Can Robert Williams guard? Julius Randle? No. Right. Hell, who you got at the 1? You do Dennis Schroeder. Once you get past Dennis Schroeder, you put Peyton Pritchard. Can Peyton Pritchard guard Derrick Rose or Kemba Walker? Can Dennis Schroeder guard Derrick Rose or Kemba Walker?
Yeah. They got Kevin Dunn too, man. Shout out to Kevin Dunn, but Kevin Dunn is not that great of a player either.
Are you talking about Chris Dunn up here? Chris Dunn?
Yeah, Chris Dunn, yeah.
Okay. Like, without Jaylen Brown, this changes everything, people.
Yeah.
This changes everything. Right? We go to Brooklyn. Again. Excuse me, not Brooklyn, New Jersey. I apologize. We go to New Jersey.
But Evergreen, I don't think we want to go through the whole podcast again, man. We already did. We already did like 2.
It's just there.
Yeah.
It's just there. And it's not that I'm saying they have no bigs. I'm saying after that, where's the depth? Where's the depth? Jaylen Brown is gone. He's out for a while. Yeah. Marcus Smart or RJ Barrett, Marcus Smart or Evan Fournier. Like there's no depth to Boston. After you get past Al Horford, nobody you talking about Ennis Cantor is, they're talking about Ennis Cantor's depth for Boston. Like, if Ennis Cantor was depth for Boston, why wasn't he depth for us?
Why wasn't he depth for Portland for that?
Why wasn't he depth for Portland? Yeah, like, come on, people. There's a reason these teams are dumping these guys. Ennis Cantor is a lockjam guy. So really, it's Al Horford, and that's it at the big. You putting too much respect on a guy that had 44 dropped on him.
Right.
So
yeah, but listen, we're not gonna go back and forth with Uncle Fulio because now we're gonna do the whole podcast all over.
I told you he's my arch nemesis. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. So we basically went through all the teams and stuff, man. So for guys like Josh just coming in now, you gotta go listen to the whole pod. We did basically 2 hours with it. We spent like extensive research on every single team or whatever. So for those that missed it, didn't see it live, please go to and check it out. Check out the replay. And it's about to be 11, about to be 12 o'clock, man. So we got to wrap this up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mr. Evergreen, for coming in
Peace,
on the
peace.
podcast. You have an opinion, my brother.
I have an opinion, people.
Yeah.
I have an
And
opinion.
shout out to this guy here that just came in. This is a thing. The longer you come on here, the more people start coming in here talking about get your boy off the cast. He's ruined your credibility. Man, fuck all that credibility bullshit. Credibility from where? Are we selling crack? Do I need street cred? What is all this other stuff? We're talking about Knicks. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. Go to the beginning of the podcast. The very first thing I said, I was talking about the death of Michael K. Williams and stuff like that. That's what really matters. Just talking about the Knicks don't necessarily matter. It's fun. This is all about fun. All this other stuff about credibility and all the bullshit, you can just shove it up your ass. To tell you the truth, because if you're not having fun, then what the hell's the point of it? Credibility and all the other bullshit that is all out the window. This is all fun. So just excuse the tone, my man. I'm not trying to single you out or anything like that, but just anybody that's watching. If you don't like what you see, then go to another channel. The other channels, they're all talking about the same bullshit. They're all talking about the same stuff, regurgitating the same takes, and everybody's afraid to say something out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Evergreen is here. Evergreen is here because he's not afraid to say shit out the ordinary. Shout out to Uncle Fulio. Uncle Fulio is the man. The arch nemesis or whatever to Evergreen and all this. But you guys shit on Josh all the time. But Josh is not afraid to say shit that nobody else want to say. You know what I'm saying? And who gives a fuck? To tell you the truth, who cares? This is all for fun. This is all for fun. You know what I'm saying? So without going back into do the whole podcast off because like you feel you need to repeat it because guys don't respect you, man. Fuck that shit, man. This is all supposed to be for fun.
Right.
Like if you don't want to have fun, go watch ESPN. You ain't having fun watching them. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my takes before we get out of here, man.
It took a while for me to get you riled up.
It took 2.5 hours for me to have the E-Rule.
I think it took 2.5 hours the other episode too, didn't it? Before you started cutting.
But that's the thing, man. So I have respect for you. I have respect for you. I got respect for all these different guys here. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking, I'm listening to you because you're saying stuff that I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to hear it, somebody else want to hear it too. And if they don't want to hear it, like I said, go find another fucking channel. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different Knicks channels out there. Go find somebody you want to listen to. Don't come on this channel talking about, you ruin your credibility, man. Fuck credibility.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're having fun. This is fun. And
this is probably by far the rawest Knicks channel out there. Like the other ones are yelling at each other and all that stuff. I'm with it. Yeah. I'm with the shits too. But this is the only one where we're sitting up, drinking beer, taking shots, and cussing that content. You know what I mean?
Not for nothing. Look at your eyes. I think you kind of like leaning a little bit, my man.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Now you was like you did one of these just now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I gotta drink some water before I go to bed. So
yeah, man. But, shout out to Boost Mobile. I'm not going back and forth with the chat. You can say what you want to say, but listen, if you don't like it, go to another channel. That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? Like I spent a lot of time trying to build this damn thing. Like people, we're talking about whatever. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty of other channels that keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? If you notice, I don't be begging people to come on this channel. Usually it just be me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't beg people to come on here, come on my channel to make it interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dick riding nobody out there. I got my man Evergreen. I respect him. For his Knick knowledge, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I the big thing for me is there's a bunch of people that really put their heart and soul into this orange and blue shit, and the fact that E-Rule is taking the time out of his family life. He's got fucking 11 kids and a wife over there, kids shitting all over the place and clogging up tubs and toilets and all that stuff. And he's still taking the time and finding the time to really give you some Knick content because he loves it. He bleeds this shit. And and the same thing here, and
shout out. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, and it's important. You got to respect the content. You know what I mean? That's really it. People are putting their time and effort behind this stuff, and y'all are consuming it. So we do this for y'all, but at the end of the day, we really do this for us because we love
for the culture.
shit. Like
for the culture, right?
You know, gotta watch. You like Boost Mobile said, you gotta watch the whole show, baby. You gotta
Yeah,
watch the whole show.
yeah,
You
man.
know.
Yo, shout out to Sim. That's what I was gonna say. Shout out to Sim. You know, because Sim kind of gave birth to a lot of these podcasts that are out here. They basically copying everything that he's doing. But one thing with Sim is big as he's gotten, he's never crossed over to the other side where he's basically got Mark Berman or somebody sitting on his lap and shit like that. You know, it's still real. He's still giving back to the fans. Podcast by a fan to the fans. Not like I said, breastfeeding these sports writers or whoever else you want to have on the show. He doesn't do that. And I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying. I'd rather talk to my people. And shout out to that. I'm gonna have Jarrell. He's gonna be on the pod tomorrow. We're gonna talk about something. And shout out to whoever else wants to come out there. People that are real Knicks fans, like Josh, Evergreen, and down the line, the whole MBK fam. Whatever. And also too, my little clan too. With Mr. State and nothing. Excuse me, Knicks community and guard up Knicks. Tune into real content, man. If you want the fucking bullshit, if you want to talk about credibility and all this other fucking bullshit, then go to the other channels. That's basically what I have to say about that.
Yeah, man. Credibility is bullshit. It's
credibility for this, like what the hell, man?
like, Now, with that being said, I make it a point to not only I try not to only listen to people that agree with me, because it gets boring. You start saying the same thing over and over again. You start having the same points, and then there's no like, oh, you like spaghetti too? Oh, I really like spaghetti. You know what I mean? And they're like everybody's saying the same dumb shit over and over and over again.
But have you eaten spaghetti with the left hand? I've done it with the right hand, but have you done it with the left hand?
When you hold the fork with your pinky up, it tastes better. You know what I mean? Like, I try to surround myself with people that will disagree with me, which is why I love Josh so much, Uncle Fulio. Like, that guy disagrees with me I feel like he's trying to do it sometimes. He trolls with me. And because what it does is it allows me to sharpen my skills and go back and really, really get back in my bag and think, So again, when I'm telling people that I'm not just here bringing up some bullshit moot points, I'm really here trying to analyze some shit to make some sense. You know what I mean?
It's for the conversation. You're doing it for the whole conversation. It doesn't make sense to keep repeating the same thing, because you don't want to sound stupid or whatever. I just don't like that. I want to hear something different that I never heard before, and then I'm like, okay, I get you. I get where you're coming from. I don't agree with you, but
right.
And
when's the last time you heard somebody say the Knicks will win a championship?
You heard
that 1999? Right when Prince was talking his shit back in 1999, we're gonna party like it's 19, and then Will Smith, we're gonna party like it's 19. Hold up, it is here we come another year. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to sing that 1999. I don't want you to sing it just like that and then say titties at the end. That's what I want you to say. You got to do it. You do that one time and then we out here. How about that?
Hey, listen. We're gonna party like it's night. I'm not gonna
sing it. Sing it.
I can't sing it. Listen, I can't sing. I don't have enough shots in me.
Yo, opening night. We're gonna get some shots in you. Pause, and then we're gonna get you to sing that, and then I want you to say titties.
We're gonna be here, baby. Peace and love, Knicks family. I love you guys. Man. Big shout out to Savvy. Big shout out to Shat. Uncle, I am Jarrell. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be watching. Greenhouse was popping. Everybody in the chat that's been commenting thus far, we love you. Appreciate y'all showing up. Hit that like button. You know what I mean? It's 32 in y'all. It's 32 people in here right now watching. 31 people in here right now. Go ahead and drop that like before you get up out of here. Support the channel, support the show, support everybody in the MBK family. And once again, if you haven't already copped your tickets for opening night and you are indeed vaccinated, you know what I'm saying, and you want to come to opening night, go on the MBK channel and get those tickets, cop those tickets, come join us. You know what I mean? It's going to be drinks. We're going to have another show going on. Just prior to the game, we are going to go to the game, watch the game, and then probably have another show right after that. And I'm probably going to be cussing everybody out, and it's going to be amazing. Right?
If you don't go, you have no credibility.
You have no credibility. no credibility, right? Is that what they say? Yeah. So
Yeah.
peace and love, y'all.
Peace, guys.
Peace.